played in each of the last 3 centuries. It's Villanova and Delaware here on the Villanova Sports Network as we say hello from Villanova Stadium alongside Steve Pannone. I'm Ben Curtis. Tessa Pelosa will join us from the sidelines in just a little bit. Steve, Villanova coming off a disappointing loss to Monmouth. They have one more opportunity in the regular season to right the ship.
Yeah, and it's the rivalry game of the year for both teams. And Villanova comes in 8-3. Would love to get out of this thing 9-3 and kind of put everybody at the committee at ease. It's going to be a big game.
We'll talk a little bit more throughout the broadcast about what this could mean for Villanova and their chances for postseason play. But for both teams, a huge opportunity. One more battle of the blue.
Yeah, this is probably the last time these teams will play for a very long time. So you want that last one to be a good feeling, and both teams will go out there today with that in mind.
Well, let's dive into this match as we take a look at what's been at stake all season long for both of these two teams. The FCS rankings the last time out, Villanova not in the top 10. The consensus is if Villanova wins today, they are likely solidly in. A loss doesn't put them out, but it does make for some sleepless nights tonight.
Yeah, you want to take care of your business today. Get to 9-3 and kind of put yourself in the field. Delaware transitioning to FBS, ineligible for the conference championship and postseason play.
Yeah, you'll see the Delaware 9-1 record. This is a really good team, but as you said, they are not eligible for postseason play. That has not stopped them from being a really hard-nosed, difficult-to-beat football team, though. 9 wins in back-to-back seasons for the first time since 2003 and 2004 for this Delaware team.
Yeah, they've been really good all year long. The lone hiccup was the loss at Richmond, but they've struggled with this Villanova team over the years. Villanova's kind of had the better of this rivalry for a long time now. They'd love to see that end today.
UT 17-0 under head coach Brian Carty. When they win the turnover battle, that is going to be something to keep an eye on. They did that again in their win against Campbell, their 3rd victory in a row as they took down the Camels.
Yeah, and the big play of that game last year was the Danny Abraham pick 6 for Villanova, which kind of broke that game open and separated in the win for the Wildcats.
Today's Players to Watch presented by Mainline Health. For the Blue Hens, we spotlight their graduate student running back superstar Marcus Yarns, only 18 all-purpose yards away from 3,000 in his stellar Blue Hens career.
Yeah, look at his numbers there. He's had 3 straight 100-yard rushing games today, and if Villanova wants to win today, you probably want to keep him under 100. He's been that good for that long for the Blue Hens.
Averages nearly 7 yards per carry. It's going to be a difficult test for Villanova to stop him on the ground. If Delaware is going to be able to get him going, it could be trouble for Villanova today. When you look at this Villanova team, 8-3 on the season, 5-2 in conference play, but a couple of losses to teams that they would have been favored against. Monmouth and Maine, both on the road this year.
And Monmouth, a very explosive offense. Went for 40 points against the top-ranked defense in the CA, which is Villanova. Villanova usually really good against the run. We talked about Yarns against Villanova's run defense. That's probably the key to today's game.
Scoring margin has improved in every quarter for Villanova, but they did not get off to a great start against Monmouth. They were playing catch-up for a lot of the contest, and a couple of late scores for Villanova wasn't enough to get them past Monmouth as they fell 40-33 last weekend in New Jersey. But for Villanova, if they're going to rely on their big players, it starts with number 4, Connor Watkins.
Yeah, and he's a dual threat guy, and what you're going to want to see today is you're going to see him with his legs, I think. The quarterback run, very difficult to defend. Had success against this last year against Delaware. I think you will see him tucking the ball and running and also trying to get the ball out to his receivers.
The graduate student from Williamsport, Pennsylvania, as you said, he can do it with both the arm and with his legs. A couple of different threats for Villanova on the offensive side of things, and they will be leaning on their star quarterback to lead the way. In the biggest games of the year, you need your leaders to be able to step up most teams.
That's what you talk about. You want your best players to play their best in the big games. There's no game bigger than today.
Villanova and Delaware have been intertwined through so much of the programs for these two teams, and we'll get to do it one more time on the final day of the regular season. On the final day of the regular season, that also means senior day between Villanova and Delaware. Great opportunity for some Villanova players who have been with this program for quite some time to get honored before the game. Always a great ceremony to have loved ones there as well. It takes a village to get these players to where they are now, and it's great on senior day to be able to recognize
and
that.
It's great to have your family with you to get an opportunity to come and experience Villanova Stadium one last time. The student managers came out first and then the seniors. So quite an emotional time with an emotional game to come, and the Wildcats won the toss and they elected to defer, so the Hens will get their hands on the football first.
series that dates back to 1895. There were just 41 states in the Union when Villanova and Delaware played for the first time. And with the Blue Hens moving to Conference USA, we don't know when the next time it will be. So savor the next 60 minutes of football here between two great rivals. The 58th all-time meeting of the Battle of the Blue is going to have to wait one more moment because the wind fell off the tee of the ball.
Something maybe worth talking about. Wildcats will be kicking with the wind here in the first quarter. So Delaware will be going against the wind, and it's probably a 25 to 30 mile an hour breeze left to right on your TV screen.
22 mile an hour gusts officially as we are now underway with the 58th all-time meeting between Delaware and Villanova, and it will be a touchback to start things off for Delaware. This is the best on best side of the ball for both of these two teams. Villanova tops in the conference in points per game allowed. They concede just 18.5 points per game. For Delaware, they're second in the conference and 15th in all of FCS in points per game. They average over 35 points per contest. So this Villanova defense will get started first as Delaware will start things off in their white jerseys with the blue pants, and Villanova in the dark blue jerseys. They'll be attacking from left to right as Nick Minicucci gets started out. It's a handoff right to Yarns to get things underway, and he's bottled up.
Yeah, it's
not
Brendan
much there.
Bell. There's a matchup to talk about all day. That was actually Richie Kimmel. Excuse me. I thought it was Bell. It was actually Kimmel, 44, with the tackle. And it's going to be those Villanova linebackers, all over Marcus Yarns all day. That'll be a key matchup as we talked about in pregame.
See the name Shane Hartzell there, 93 tackles, leads the way for Villanova. Fourth in the conference in total tackles, has been a monster all season long at the linebacker position. Nick Minicucci's the sophomore from Delaware, the sophomore from Midland Park, New Jersey. And his first pass of the day gets it out wide, and the quarterback for Delaware will now have an obvious passing down. It's kind of been a rotation of a couple of different quarterbacks for Delaware, but Minicucci's been really solid the last couple of games.
Yeah, that was Kelly, I think, on the reception. They pick up about 3 to make it, third down, and we'll call it 6 here. So an opportunity for Villanova to try to get a 3 and out. Let's see if Delaware looks to extend this drive.
Last week against Campbell, Minicucci, 16 of 26, 230 yards, 4 touchdowns, and just 1 interception. He was efficient in leading the team over the Camels. Third down and medium, obvious passing down, gets the ball out of his hand across the middle, and a catch made by Caleb Foria, the graduate student tight end from Massachusetts, with just his 12th catch of the season, but a big one. And
this very experienced Delaware offensive line gave Minicucci plenty of time there. It's like someone broke through, he gets out of the hands there, and just finds the open tight end for the easy first down catch.
Foria averages just about 12 yards per game through the air. He already has an early reception to get himself started. Back to the ground again. Yarns again with nowhere to go.
And that was Kimmel one more time. So he's been reading that first down run once again in the backfield. And call it no gain. Wildcats are going to have to, Ben, going to have to get some pass rush pressure. They did not do that last week against Monmouth. Allowed their quarterback to just sit back and pick the defense apart. So we'll see if Ross Pennypacker comes with some more blitzes today to try to get some more pressure on Minicucci.
Villanova team has been really good getting off the field on third down, top 6 in the CAA in that category. So on second down, it's thrown over the middle, in and out of the hands of the intended target, Kari Kelly.
It looked like he had his hands around it, maybe a little bit behind him, but probably a ball that Kelly touched. I need to catch to bring up third down and call it 10. We'll get a look at the replay here.
Sophomore from Gainesville,
it's
Florida.
A little bit high and a little bit behind him, but probably Kelly will tell you I got to bring that in.
So here is again that obvious third down situation. Blue Hens 49% on third down conversions, but can ill afford to get too far behind the sticks as Minicucci will likely go through the air again. The sophomore looking across the field, rolling out to his left, head up, pump fake, he'll run it himself for the first down. And gets shoved out of bounds and a flag flies.
It's going to be a late flag. It was barely even a tap there. I can't believe they're going to call this a late hit.
Officials going to come together and have a conversation about this one.
Let's see what they, maybe somebody, let's see if it's something else.
After the play, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, defense, number 34, 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's a big call, that tack on 15. You're going to see it here. It's like a two-hand touch. I do think Minicucci's out of bounds. I think this is something you don't really need to call, though.
What a pump fake that is, though, for Minicucci to get off balance.
That's not a penalty. Jesus. That's just a bad call by the officials. It's actually Potter stopping himself.
So
just a really bad call.
Move the ball up to the 33-yard line of Villanova, and that's where Minicucci and the rest of this Delaware offense can get set up.
So Hens now 2 for 2 on 3rd down.
That was one of the storylines coming into play today. Minicucci to the air again, finds Jake Thaw, the former Michigan Wolverine, knows a thing or two about big rivalries. He gets his first reception of the day.
7 on 1st down. That's what Delaware wants, to make it second and manageable. They've escaped a couple of 3rd and longs on this drive, and then the 15-yard penalty on top of it hits them right down to the 25-yard line.
Thaw's been the number 2 receiver all year long. Phil Lutz has been leading the way, the former Tufts Jumbo, wearing number 13 in the slot right now at the bottom of your screen. Villanova going to need to know where he is at all times. Back to the ground again. Yarns lost his footing, and it'll be another 3rd down and medium.
Wildcats did a good job of stringing that out. Trent is the one who actually touches him after he goes down, but they had that strung out pretty good, and as Ben mentioned, he loses his footing for a loss of probably 2. Probably 4 down territory here for the Blue Hens, though, inside the 20, inside the 30 here. Kicking into the wind as well.
Nate Reed's season long is 41. This would be just a little bit, not that much past it, but as you mentioned, the wind would probably add another 5 or so yards to it. So this is kind of that in-between awkward situation for Ryan Carty if the Blue Hens were not to get a 1st down here. Villanova nearly jumped. Instead, Delaware will change things up at the line, and a timeout called by Ryan Carty as the play clock was winding all the way down.
Delaware, 30-second timeout.
So the Blue Hens have to burn a timeout. We'll stick with you here to set up this 3rd down and 4. It's been solid on 3rd down so far. That big Minicucci run on 3rd and 10 with that great pump fake to get the defense off balance and run for the 1st down. But as we were talking about, this is that kind of in-between situation. It's about 5 or 7 yards beyond what Nate Reed's season long is, and then you factor the wind in as well, and might be 4 down territory here.
I think you'll know by the play call. They run the ball here. It's probably 4 down territory. Not that 4th and 4 is insurmountable, but I think if you see a run to Yarns here, that they're probably thinking, hey, we got 2 downs to pick up 4 yards. We like our chances with Marcus Yarns.
Yarns has been held quiet today. He's touched the ball twice on the ground. He's only gotten 2 yards to show for it. See if they split number 21 out of the back to catch passes as well. They do that from time to time with a graduate student from Salisbury, Maryland. Here's Ryan Carty.
Yeah, you got the trips left here. I wouldn't be surprised if they run something right here and see if they can get the edge.
In motion goes Jake Thaw. They do run up the middle, and that's a little bit more like it for Marcus Yarns. A 1st down inside the 20. First big rush of the day for the superstar Yarns, and another 1st down for Delaware.
I told you their mindset there. They're going to try to run. They'll have 2 plays to pick up 4 yards. They pick up 6 on 1. Good block there. Who was that? 12 coming in. The tight end did a nice job.
That's Foria again, who already has a 12-yard reception.
You saw him in the passing game there. You see him in the run game.
Delaware methodically moving the ball down the field on their opening drive. Back to the air again for Minicucci. He's looking towards the end zone, towards the corner. It's nearly caught by Lutz. Good defense that time along the far side.
And Brendan Bell in coverage there. And that was, I think, Foria again, a tight end 12. They're trying to, they like that matchup on the linebacker. And you see Bell with a good job in coverage here. He's with him step for step. Good coverage by Brendan Bell.
Yeah, nice call, Steve. That's 12, not 13. Foria out of the wheel route to try to set something up against the linebacker. Instead, 2nd down and 10.
Little pistol formation here from the Hens.
And Yarns will go downhill. Tried to bump it out to the right side. Nothing doing. Aiden Howard was there defensively for Villanova.
If you can win that battle up front, and him on the nose is Howard. He did a good job of getting off his block and holding it to a 1-yard gain.
So another 3rd down and long for Delaware. These have not been a problem for the Blue Hens, though. A perfect 3 for 3 on this drive on 3rd down.
And Villanova just needs a confidence boost after last week as well. Just try to get off the field on 3rd down here. I think at 4th and 9, they probably do elect to take the 3 points, but we'll see if they can get an incomplete pass here.
Starting the game, as we alluded to, for Villanova has given them some troubles. They've been outscored in the first half this season, and they've been outscored in the first quarter by a margin of 17. 68-51 in the first quarter. Pitch out to the right. Yarns with some space to operate along the right side. Flag flies. He's pushed out of bounds just short.
Let's see what that call is. That could be offensive holding. Usually something out on the edge like that, they give you the... Yes, it is going to be offensive holding. I think if you're Villanova, you take this penalty. Even though it's going to be 4th and short, I would take this.
First real tactical decision for Mark Ferrante perhaps to have to make. In his now 8th season of work with this Villanova team. They're going to back him up.
It would have been 4th and 5.
Seemed like Mark Ferrante was asking.
Yeah, I think he still wants to think this one over. Now, it's not as cut and dry as I thought, but I do think I would take the penalty.
So we'll get the call.
Holding. Offense. Number 15. 10-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
That does, especially with the wind, put the field goal range right on the cusp. It would almost exactly match Reed's season long if Blue Hens don't get anything here.
Yeah, now you got to count on your defense. If you can get a negative play, you pretty much drive them out of field goal range. Now, if you're Delaware, maybe you run the ball, try to pick up 5 or 6 or 7 and get yourself in field goal range. Or trust your passing game and try to hit one. You pick up 1st and goal inside the 10.
They need the 9-yard line, the Blue Hens do. It's 3rd down and 16. A little shovel pass to Yarns. It was on the ground. That's an incomplete pass.
It's a forward pass. So now let's see what they decide to do here on 4th down. It's obviously either go for it or kick the field goal.
Forward pass, incomplete. It's 4th down.
It would be a 43-yard field goal into 20-mile-per-hour winds, which would be a season long for Reed, plus the wind.
Yeah. And I did see Reed in warm-ups. Now, there's nobody trying to block it or anything, and he was able to reach from this distance, exactly right about where he was kicking it from. He was kicking it from the 32 and 33-yard line and had enough leg.
They'll set up at the 32, so it'll be a 42-yard field goal. Noah Vitko, the long snapper. Josh Cuppett is the holder to give Delaware the lead early on their first drive. It has plenty of leg, but it misses.
So the Wildcats get the stop they're looking for. Maybe that's a turning point.
Villanova holds strong defensively, and the Wildcats will go to work on offense when we come back on the Villanova Sports Network.
When I spoke with Connor Watkins this week, I asked him if there was any added pressure to this game, knowing that Delaware has nothing to lose. And he says, I expressed this to our guys all week. We're in a position battling for the playoffs. And right now, we're playing meaningful football November, which is a position that you want to be in, right? He was telling his guys, he said, now that this Delaware team has nothing to lose, he goes, we expect them to throw every single wrinkle at us. But as long as we stick to our game plan, remain disciplined, and understand the ebbs and the flows of the game, he goes, we'll be okay. We just have to stick to that we mentality, guys.
Great stuff. Tessa will be checking in with Tessa Peloso throughout the broadcast on the sideline, giving us the inside scoop as it's Connor Watkins who does get the offense started for Villanova. The RPO will take it himself for a gain of 5. That is something we talked about in the open. Watkins does a ton, a true dual threat quarterback.
Yeah, KT Say kind of plays that safety position, makes the tackle. And you hear safeties making tackles in the run game, it's usually something productive for the offense. And it was a 5-yard pickup for Watkins.
Say's been busy this season for Delaware. The sophomore from Virginia, 33 tackles, 4 interceptions, is tied for the CAA lead. And the most for a Delaware player in 6 years. Handoff for the freshman David Abbott. He's got a big hole out towards midfield, still on his feet and into Delaware territory. The freshman from Potomac, Maryland, has burst onto the scene this year.
That's a beautiful run. Credit the offensive line. There's a gaping hole in the middle there. McCullers with a nice job. Picard with a nice job in the middle of the interior of the offensive line. And Abbott hit that hole in a big gainer.
Over 760 yards coming into play today. And a couple of freshmen in the running back room. David Abbott and Isaiah Ragland have had a ton of success. But this freshman, David Abbott, has really turned a lot of heads around the conference.
And Villanova into a pretty strong wind here, so they're relying on the run game here in the first quarter. And two productive plays, one from Watkins and the other from Abbott.
Yeah, with the wind at their backs, we'll see what that does to strategy if they do get into field goal range. That's a high catch made by Lucas Kopecky, and Watkins has his first pass through the air.
That's a really good job by Kopecky to concentrate on that ball, a high-thrown ball, knowing you're going to take a hit. He high points it with two hands, takes the hit, and is able to come down with it.
Used all of the 6'3" frame that time. The former Villanova lacrosse player going up.
That's a nice pickup on first down. Give him 8.
The Cats staying on schedule. This offense that averages about 23.5 points per game against this Delaware defense that averages fewer than 20 points per game allowed. It's Watkins again himself. He's got plenty of room to run inside the 20 down to the 15. Had Jabril Mace, the running back, there as an option, but Watkins called his own number.
Say making a tackle, but this one's well downfield. We talked about safeties making tackles. This one's well downfield. Big pickup by Watkins there.
A couple of big gainers on the ground for Abbott and Watkins, and just like that, Villanova set up in the red zone.
Now, if you're Villanova, you got to punch this in. You got to try to get 7 here.
Cats have been really efficient in this situation all season long. They at least get 3 on 86% of their trips to the red zone. That's among the best in the conference. Handoff, right side. Mace is going to get bottled up. A gain of 2, maybe. They will mark him down to the 13.
That'll bring up second down and 8.
So this Villanova team hasn't had to go through the air much at all so far this year. And when they've gotten down in this kind of situation, they've relied on the ground game pretty much almost exclusively. About 70% of their touchdowns this year have come from rushes.
And you see Mason kind of in the slot here. He's been the most active of the running back receivers. See if they maybe try to throw something to him out in space.
Back to the ground again. This time it's Avid, and this time Delaware was ready for it. And the first third down and long for Villanova.
Yeah, so this would be an interesting call here now at 3rd and 8.
This is well within field goal range for Villanova's Ethan Getman, who has a season long of 42. So this would be fairly comfortable for Getman if they do need to go to the field goal.
And Wildcats need to get it down to the 5-yard line for a first down.
3rd and 8 from the Delaware 13 as Villanova tries to strike first after the Blue Hens missed field goal. Play clock down to a dozen.
Here comes the blitz.
Watkins looking left. He's got his man down to the 5, inside the 2, and brought down just short is Daniel Lopes.
It's a good pattern by Lopes. Ran it out and it curled back in, and a good throw from Watkins hits him right between the 8 and the 4. And then Lopes makes the first man miss and gets it to 1st and goal inside the 2. There's a look at it here. You can't see, but Lopes does it out, and he'll just come right back in. An accurate ball from Watkins. Now just make your first man miss, and he does that. Gets it all the way down inside the 2-yard line.
Just the second pass of the day for Watkins, but it was an accurate one and a big one
and
to set up
Wildcats
first and short.
They go with their jumbo package here. Brendan Bell in at a fullback position as well.
Abbott.
Along with Jason Hall.
Abbott's the running back. Bounces out to the right. He's into the end zone for a Villanova touchdown.
And the Wildcats strike first. They take a 6-0 lead. Really good offensive performance by the Wildcats.
And after so much discussion about Delaware's strong starts and Villanova struggling out of the gate, it's the Cats who strike first down to the chute. And with the extra point will be 7-0 Villanova.
So it's just some good interior blocking, and then Abbott, the lower leg strength, just not going to be able to stop him one-on-one in the hole right there. And he's able to finish off the run with a Wildcat touchdown.
An 8-play, 75-yard drive, 55 of those yards on the ground as this Villanova ground and pound offense continues to maintain its identity. Extra point is up. It is straight through, and Villanova does have a 7-0 lead with 4:39 to go in the first quarter. We will step aside when we come back. Delaware's offense back to work trying to answer the Villanova score here on the main line.
In moments of vulnerability, it's only human to seek warmth and expertise. Mainline Health is the place where both your health and humanity matter, where ultrasounds come with understanding, where tests are met with tenderness, where EKGs are as important as empathy, the place where you will never be your only advocate, the place for a lifetime of care delivered neighbor to neighbor. Mainline Health, where human care has a home.
Home is for making dreams come true, for making memories that will last, for forging lifelong friendships, for watching your loved ones grow. The time is now to find the freedom that comes with pre-qualifying for a new home, or refinance in minutes and unlock the freedom to do the exciting things you've always wanted to do. Whichever path you choose, you can achieve your goals and celebrate the freedom of home ownership with Freedom Mortgage. Start making your dreams a reality at freedommortgage.com/dreams.
Back here on the Villanova Sports Network for the Battle of the Blue, this great rivalry that dates back well over 100 years, but there are some stories that are just bigger than football and transcend this rivalry. Tessa Peloso's downstairs with one of those stories.
Ben, you said it best. There's some stories that are bigger than football. Delaware walk-on Nate Ray and his family tragically lost their home due to a house fire within the last couple of weeks. Their family is extremely involved in Delaware athletics. We'll put a QR code up on the screen if anyone wants to contribute and donate to their GoFundMe. I'm sure everyone will appreciate it, the Delaware community and their family. Guys.
Yeah, great stuff, Tessa. Truly a tragic event that happened to a member of the Delaware football community. This rivalry has been interwoven for so long for both of these programs. There's so much mutual respect between these two programs. It's a great community around the CAA, and there's the QR code on the screen if you were unable to get it. It's also on the Delaware football Twitter. They do encourage you to give what you can and help out a member of the Delaware Blue Hens community who tragically had that terrible moment happen to him and his family. Back to work on the football side of things, and Delaware will have a touchback, and they'll go back to the 25.
Two straight touchbacks by Getman, taking advantage of that wind and forcing the Hens to start from their own 25.
So Nick Minicucci back to work, 3 for 6 for 23 yards through the air for the Delaware quarterback. It was a pretty well-balanced offense for Delaware, 23 yards through the air, 22 yards on the ground. That resulted in the missed field goal 42-yard attempt that was no good, wide left on Delaware's first possession. So we'll see what the Blue Hens have going back to work.
And they're going to go, I think, with Joe Nathan Silver as their other running back, give Yarns maybe a series off or at least a couple plays.
And the junior Silver still has 439 yards on the ground. He's been a really capable option for the Blue Hens, but he gets dragged down immediately. That's Howard again.
Yeah, we called his name twice now, doing a great job playing that nose position, getting off run blocks. He's going to get, I think he's going to get it from probably a 1-yard loss.
There's one more chance to see that QR code for the GoFundMe to help out Nate Ray's family. You can scan it with your phone and it'll take you right to the GoFundMe page to encourage you to donate if you can. As Delaware back to work offensively, they lost 1 yard. It'll be 2nd down and 11 officially here in the opening quarter of the final scheduled Battle of the Blue for quite some time before Delaware makes the move to Conference USA and the FBS level. Minicucci rolling out to his right, throwing on the run. He got his man. That's Kelly out towards midfield, and a flag flies late.
I think they're going to say Jalen Goodman launched himself.
And this could be a situation where targeting is involved.
Yeah, I didn't see the head-to-head contact, but he certainly looked like he launched himself into the receiver.
And Kelly is unfortunately still down along Delaware's near side. Officials still discussing things. We'll get a look at it ourselves. It's a great throw by Minicucci on the run.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense number 54. Personal foul. Targeting. Defense number 4. The targeting aspect is under further review.
Villanova crowd unhappy with the call. You got to look at it yourself. So they're going to take a look at this targeting call.
If we could get another look at it as well, I'd like to see what it looked like. He did launch himself. Let's see where the contact, if it's at the shoulder or at the head level.
Yeah,
here's our another look.
A couple elements to targeting. There's the crown of the helmet to the head or neck area. There's the defenseless receiver aspect, which is right on the border of it because Kelly starts to turn.
I think he lowers the right shoulder. I think it's shoulder-to-shoulder contact. I would hope that they pick up the targeting here.
If it were to stand, Goodman would be ejected from the contest. That's what the targeting rule comes into play. They can take off the targeting but leave the personal foul for unnecessary roughness. And of course, the ineligible man downfield call that you heard as well will come into play as well. That happens on those RPOs all the time when the offensive linemen
It's just hard for the lineman. They don't know if he's going to run the ball or not, and then they start leaking downfield. Then when you throw it, you end up with that ineligible man downfield.
But right now, Jalen Goodman, the graduate student, is waiting to hear his fate. He's been a huge part to the secondary for Villanova this season. 46 tackles. He's broken up a couple of passes. Starting free safety would be huge for Villanova to lose.
This angle looks a little bit more guilty than I saw with the first one.
And again, remember the call on the field was targeting, so they're going to have to find something to overturn.
We've seen most of these reversed this year. That doesn't mean this one will be. So that one I thought it was a shoulder first. You don't see Goodman's head make contact. You see the shoulder. With that view, I don't think it's targeting, but we'll find out. I don't count, as we well know, and I get more of these wrong than I do right. So.
Yeah, we did not end up getting a ticker for you, Steve, throughout the season. No graphics to see where either of us were.
I don't get a striped shirt at the end of the year for my officiating.
Tried to pitch Gabe Steiner, our producer, weeks ago about getting a running count. But that might be for next year. It might be 2025.
They're taking a good look at it. He's still under the hood, as they say.
This is a big call. Obviously, the 15 yards are going to stand, but whether or not one of Villanova's key defensive pieces remains in the contest is currently being looked at right now.
This would be offsetting. If they think, and it's going to be offsetting, but the more bigger question is Goodman still allowed in the game or not?
Yeah, that's a big ineligible man downfield call to wipe away 15 yards.
The catch would have counted, and you had 15 more.
They've come to their conclusion, and the rest of us will get to learn it right now.
Targeting is confirmed. Number 4 is disqualified. The penalty's offset. We will replay second down.
So once again, I get another one wrong, and you feel for the senior, Jalen Goodman here in his last home game.
And the Villanova crowd voicing their displeasure. It is, as expected, a really, really good crowd on hand at Villanova Stadium today, but Jalen Goodman is done for the day playing in front of this crowd. Mark Ferrante letting the referees know exactly what he thinks about the decision. He's not the biggest fan in the world of it, obviously.
Yeah, that's two, I think, that have kind of gone against the Wildcats here early. I didn't like the personal foul on the run by Minicucci early, and this one, I guess it can go either way. I've seen worse this year that wasn't called targeting. I'll leave it at that.
So after all that, Jalen Goodman out of the game. Caleb Moody is his backup. He's going to
see a lot of Christian Sapp too on passing downs, and he's in now on second and almost 11.
The junior Sapp does have an interception this season. They go short. Check down to the right side will set up third down and manageable. There's Jake Thaw, the former Michigan Wolverine. Already has a couple of catches today. That's 2 now for Thaw.
He does a good job in possession. We talked with some of the people this week about the Delaware receivers. They didn't think they had a long ball threat specifically, but guys that run very precise routes with very good hands.
Third down and 6. We'll see if those receivers are called upon again.
And they do a good job in these type of situations, getting to markers, picking up first downs.
Empty backfield for Nick Minicucci to work with. He'll float it out to the right side. It's intercepted. Brendan Bell down the right side. One man to get past, and he runs it all the way back for a Villanova touchdown. A pick 6 for Brendan Bell, the graduate student on senior day. And Villanova's up 2 scores.
And I talked about this in the pregame. The biggest play in last year's game was Danny Abraham's pick 6. This could be the play of the game right here with Brendan Bell. He was out on Yarns. They tried to get the ball to Marcus Yarns, their playmaker. Bell jumped the route, and then he just did the rest with his legs. He had a caravan of defensive linemen downfield with him, and the Wildcats lead 13-0 with the extra point pending. You'll see it here. It's out to the left. Yarns is right there and just overthrows. It looked like it might have got tipped at the line of scrimmage as well, as that ball sailed a little bit on Minicucci.
And then Brendan Bell did the rest. The extra point is pure, and it's a 14-0 Villanova lead. What a turn of momentum after Jalen Goodman was ejected from the game. A pick six on only a couple of plays later.
Yeah, that ball came out. Looked like it might have got tipped. You see it wobbling. Bell doing a good job here reading his blockers. Aiden Howard again did a good job. He was the only man downfield that really had a chance, and Howard just cleaned him out of the way. Really nice job by the Wildcat defense. We talked about maybe not getting as many turnovers as they did last year, and they might need a turnover today. They turned that turnover into 7 points.
Well, we talked about the turnover battle in the open of the broadcast and how critical it was going to be. Ryan Carty, when he's been the head coach of Delaware, his team has been on the plus side of the turnover battle 17 times. They've won all 17 of those games, Delaware has. It has been critical for the Blue Hens to get out to the turnover battle lead, but the opening turnover of the game turns into 6 points in a matter of moments for Villanova. Yeah. And the momentum all with the Cats.
And that 2:55 left in the quarter, and Delaware has the win this quarter. You'd think they'd be more offensive minded. The Wildcats have been able to put 14 points up against the wind. Still 2:55, so Delaware will get another series.
And this time they will run it back out of 2 or 3 yards in the back of the end zone, out towards the 20 to the 25, and gain of a couple of more yards than they would have gotten on the touchback, down to about the 27. So that is where the Blue Hens will start things up on this possession. And plenty of time left in this game, but the way that Villanova right now rolling, it feels like it's getting kind of late, kind of early for Delaware.
Yeah, obviously, 2:55 to go here in the first quarter, but Delaware at some point is going to need an answer, and this would be a really important drive for them. They can get some points to get back in this ball game.
The wind has settled down a little bit in the face of Nick Minicucci, who is 4 for 8, 27 yards. He did have an interception in that game last week against Campbell, but he made up for it with the 4 touchdowns. Screen pass over towards the right side. Thaw has the play blown up.
That's Ice Waxter. Really did a nice job coming off his corner position. That's not the primary guy he's covering. He came off his receiver and made a really nice tackle.
Oh,
this is well set up. Looking the other way to go. Screen back there. Waxter comes off his guy 13. He was guarding the other wide receiver, Lutz. And that's a really big play because he had a lot of room out there if Waxter's not there.
Graduate student Ice Waxter beating Thaw to the spot. Gain of only about 1 or 2. Yarns in motion to the right of Minicucci. Empty backfield once again for the Delaware quarterback, who rolls back out to his right. He'll pull it down and take it himself for maybe 1 or 2.
Oh, yeah, that's a good coverage in the secondary by Villanova. Minicucci had nowhere to go. They had plenty of time. Good job by the offensive line of Delaware, but no one open downfield to bring up 3rd down and long.
Delaware's had a number of these 3rd down and long, 7, 8, 9, 10 yards left to go, and they've converted a handful of them already today. But again, obvious passing situation for the sophomore Minicucci. Terrence Archer, the offensive coordinator for Delaware, also works with the wide receivers specifically. See what he has drawn up here as Minicucci looks to the air again. Pressure comes, floats it out to the left side. He links up with Jake Thaw. Flag.
Yeah, that should be offensive pass interference. I hope they get this. They rubbed those 3 guys right down the lane, and then I think it was one of the receivers I think it was Patterson, just threw a block, and they're going to get it. That's a good call by the officials.
That rub route is so often employed.
Yeah, usually you'll see them.
Pass interference. Offense, number 0. 15-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
That is Patterson.
And you'll see they actually lined 3 guys up in a row, straight back. And you'll see there right there on Mims. That's just offensive interference. Mims unable to get out on the receiver. That's a good call by the officials. The back judge threw that in from way back. That's a good call.
You talk to people who know the rules really well. Part of the issue with that rub route is you get into trouble when you stop. You have to try to fight through the route and keep going, and Patterson just kind of held up as soon as he ran into the couple of Villanova players.
So now it's 3rd and 22 here. The Wildcats got to keep everything in front.
And Delaware right now just looking for some sort of room with which to give their punter, Josh Cuppett, who has not been called into action yet so far, except for the hold on the missed field goal. Timeout called with the play clock down to just 6 seconds.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Delaware head coach. Half the distance to the goal. It's 3rd down.
Oh, and that'll fire up the Villanova side of the field.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously didn't think the call was a good call like I did. Ryan Carty not happy with that call. I think if he watches on film, he'll realize that was a correct call, but also maybe just trying to fire his troops up.
Yeah, you see.
Yeah, I don't see
the
Ice
Delaware
Waxer
side
out
of
on
the
the
bench.
field here for Villanova. A little surprising. And Daoud's in at the other corner.
And Christian Sapp is back out there again.
This is where they're going to run it with Yarns. They got to come up and make a tackle.
Yarns taking the space in front of him. He's still way beyond where he needs to get to. Nearly got back to the original line of scrimmage at past the 20. So that will at least give an opportunity for Josh Cuppett to flip the field.
Yeah, pick up about 10 to 15 yards in the run. You'll take it, and hopefully you got the wind here. You should be able to get a good kickoff. Cupitt's been a good punter for them for a long time.
Tanner Maddox is back to receive the punt. The backup quarterback. Shows just how athletic the Villanova quarterback room is. Cuppett averages about 42.5 yards per punt. His first one of the day is a solid one that tracks Maddox down back to the 35. He'll get out past the 40. Maddox with a little bit of room. Flag comes into play back behind. And this one might be coming back as it's out across midfield. So Maddox got down into Delaware territory, but there's a flag.
There it is, way across on the 40, yeah. It's going to probably be holding on Villanova. I see it was like a tackle out wide, unfortunately.
During the return, holding, receiving team, number 27. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, first down.
That'll put the Wildcats back inside their own 30, so they're going to lose about 8 yards on this penalty.
Yeah, that's a big flip of the field between the Yarns rush just to get something for Cuppett to work with, and then the penalty. And after Delaware is backed up inside their own 10, now Villanova will be back inside their own 25.
Yeah, with only 7 seconds left here
30.
in the first quarter, too. I'd be really surprised to probably see a run play here and then try to get with the wind, and maybe you get a little bit more aggressive in the passing game when you have the wind in the second quarter.
One or two more opportunities for Villanova to continue to put the gas pedal down here in quarter number one, a quarter that has gone just about as Mark Ferrante would have wanted. It is a pass for Watkins. He links up with his man over the middle, staying on his feet and barreling all the way down past the 45-yard line. Jalen Sanchez, the junior.
So much for my philosophy, run out the clock. They run it out by throwing a pass and pick up a first down.
And that is how the first quarter comes to an end, fittingly for Villanova in the final schedule meeting in quite some time between these two great rivals. The number 15 team in the nation, Villanova, up 14-0 at home on the Villanova Sports Network.
That is the end of the first quarter.
quarter number 2 here along the main line alongside Steve Pannone. My name is Ben Curtis. Tessa Peloso's down on the sidelines with us as well. Get a look at some of the numbers of the opening quarter. Villanova put together a couple of really solid drives, and then the pick six doesn't show up on that graphic, but really turned the tide.
Yeah, I was going to say the one graphic that doesn't show up is turnovers, and that's the one big one that Delaware had on the interception by Brendan Bell for a touchdown, and that really makes the game 14-0.
Villanova driving as well after the first down completion to Jalen Sanchez. 1st and 10 for Villanova just on their own side of midfield. Blitz comes, it's picked up and just out of the reach of Lucas Kopecky. Be 2nd down and 10. Delaware trying to dial up a little bit more pressure, and defensive coordinator Manny Rojas recognizing got to throw a different wrinkle at this Villanova team.
Yeah, that pressure got to Watkins. That ball just a little bit high. Kopecky unable to go up and get it. They had the right read. They had a hot read there. Kopecky with the right route. Just Watkins a little bit high in the throw.
No sacks for Delaware in the opening quarter. This is a Delaware team that has really made their mark in that department this year. 28 sacks is the most in a decade for this Delaware team. And again, more pressure comes and not a sack, but it was deflected away.
Yeah, so they've decided they're going to come after this young Villanova offensive line. That brings up 3rd and 10. Villanova's had 2 plays called well, some quick hitters, but unfortunately unable to connect on either one.
Delaware picks up 2 more sacks today. They average 2.8 per game, so that's not by any chance out of the realm of possibility.
You might see here, you might see Dev Smith in a go route here if they're just going to, rush, going to bring pressure.
2 more sacks for Delaware would get them to 30 for the first time since 2007.
Take a shot on a one-on-one play down the field.
3rd down and 10. More pressure comes. Everybody bringing the house, and staying on his feet was Watkins, but he can't link up with Kopecky down the field, and the pressure does impact the graduate student quarterback, and Delaware gets off the field. But Manny Rojas bringing the heat on the first couple of plays of the 2nd quarter. Delaware finds a stop near midfield.
Yeah, let's see if what Villanova does to compensate that. It might try to hit him with a quick run play in the gap and just, hit against that run blitz. If you hit it, there's no safeties left.
So first time this afternoon that the Villanova punter, Ethan Getman, has been called into action. We've seen him kick a couple extra points the only times we've had to call his name. All the way back to receive are a pair of Delaware punt returners. Jake Thaw is back there, along with Donovan Lewis. Punt is high, spiraling, and a fair catch called for just inside the 20, and then tackling was a Villanova player, I believe.
It's Terrell
Mims.
That was
Terrell Mims, and that's going to be a penalty.
Going to be a 15-yard penalty.
It'll be half the distance. Or no, it won't be actually. It will go back the other way. 15 yards. Good call, Steve, and that's just a mental mistake.
Yeah, you got to run with your head. You got to have your head up. You got to see.
After the play, personal foul. Kicking team, number 7. 15-yard penalty, 1st down Delaware.
You need to see the hand go up, and then he just had his head down here as he's covering the punt. Doesn't see the fair catch signal. See there, he's fighting. He's engaged with a blocker. Doesn't see the signal, and then goes and makes the hit, which is a 15-yard penalty.
So good starting field position for the Blue Hens. Out past the 30 after the penalty on what will be their 4th drive of the day. First one resulted in a missed field goal, then the interception, and then a 3-and-out punt. What does Nick Minicucci have set up for Delaware on their 4th possession of this 2024 edition of the Battle of the Blue?
It's Yarns back in the backfield.
And he makes the first man miss and nearly got past the second. A shoestring trip-up tackle. That time by Villanova.
Yeah, that was a 7-yard gain, but you really saw what Yarns can do. The cutback ability, the vision, make the first guy miss.
It was Chuck Smith who just got Yarns to the ground. That is the explosiveness that Yarns certainly has. Now over past 3,000 all-purpose yards in his Delaware career. Graduate student from Salisbury, Maryland, has been with this program through so much of its success as he bounces out to the right side. And he gets past the first down marker. That's a really good understanding for Yarns of knowing exactly what he needed to get to. And the Blue Hens will move the chains. A good start to the 2nd quarter for Delaware. Got a couple of incomplete passes from Watkins and forced the punt, and then the penalty and the first down, and the Blue Hens in business here near midfield themselves. Nick Minicucci still just 5 for 9 with 29 yards. 49 yards on the ground, though, for Delaware. 38 of those coming from Marcus Yarns, who we highlighted in the open. A lot of pre-snap motion for the Blue Hens. Minicucci, short pass over towards the right side. Spin move, and then Kelly got leveled.
Yeah, that's Christian Sapp who's in for Goodman, and he lowers the boom.
Gain of about 4, and Kelly took the brunt of those 4 yards.
And Kelly, not a big guy physically. And here comes Sapp, good read, and then just right shoulder right into the chest bone.
It was Kelly who took the targeting against Goodman as well, and the 5'8", 170 frame for the sophomore has been engaged physically today. Back to pass again for Minicucci. Plenty of time now, rolling out towards his left. Will throw past the sticks. Might have had the first down if he took it himself.
Yeah, I thought the decision there is to run the football.
JoJo Bermudez was the intended target.
Now to bring up 3rd and long.
Or rather, that's Kelly again on the left. No, it was Bermudez at the top of your picture.
I think the decision there was probably to run the football. He's out here in the flat, and there's nobody with him. See the 3 interior linemen. Chuck Smith's not going to be able to get out there.
Shane Hartzell was there to spy. Number 31 at the bottom of your picture as Minicucci rolled out.
Another big 3rd down here.
Now 3 for 7 is Delaware. They've missed each of their last 4 3rd down conversions. And taking it himself is Minicucci. This time he'll get close, but not there.
Yeah, he's going to be about 2.5 to 3 yards short. So
right at midfield.
Yeah, Ryan Carty's got a decision here. I think he might try to draw Villanova off sides and then punt the football. Let's see what he does here. I don't see the punt team coming out just yet.
Now offense isn't going anywhere right now. Delaware looks to change the momentum.
A risky play here, 14-0 to give the ball over at midfield. I would not be surprised if they just try to draw Villanova off sides and then kick the football, but looks like they're going to run something.
Yeah, delay a game does not hurt you at all because it just gives a little bit more breathing room for Cuppet. Play clock down to 10 though. In motion goes Bermudez. Will Delaware run a play here on 4th down? Yes, they will. Villanova brings pressure, and it's in and out of the hands of Bermudez. Villanova holds firm on 4th down.
Yeah, I think that's I don't know if I didn't agree with the call before the play, and I certainly don't agree with it now to hand the ball over at midfield to Villanova down 14-0. It was 4th and a good 3 yards. It wasn't 4th and a yard, and you felt it was far enough that you couldn't give the ball to your great running back Marcus Yarns.
Delaware had converted 65% of their 4th downs this year, among the best in the conference, but that time right there on the spot, Ty Trin to make sure Bermudez couldn't hang on.
See the good break on the football there, and a good job by Hartzell. Ross Pennypacker dialed up the blitz. Hartzell got right in the face of Minicucci.
So a chance for a big swing for Villanova.
Now you got to take advantage of it. You got the short field here. You need to get some points.
Connor Watkins 3 for 6 for 39 yards. He also has 25 yards on the ground. He'll shovel it to Mace along the left flank. Hurdles a man and gets down inside the 45.
Yeah, he'll pick up 9 yards on 1st down. That just gets your teammates excited when you make a play like that, showing that extra effort. I thought Watkins was going to keep that. He got it out to Mace, and probably the right decision. He picks up 9.
Jabril Mace stands at 6'6", and he climbed the ladder a little bit more to pick up a couple extra yards, and that'll fire up the Villanova bench even more.
So now 2nd and short here. Isaiah Ragland in at the running back position.
Cats have had a steady dose of the ground game today. 64 yards on the ground to just 39 through the air. This time nowhere to go for Ragland. He loses a couple of yards.
So big play there by the Delaware defense from 2nd and 1. I don't know why we're going out wide there. Probably you can just go with your read option right up the middle. You've been picking up yards, especially 2nd and short. Now bring up 3rd and long.
Melkar Abujaude was there again. Leads the team in sacks with 6.5. That wasn't a sack, but it was as good as one to back things up a couple of yards.
Yeah, so it's going to be now almost 4 full yards they're going to need. Delaware's without Keyshawn Hunter today, one of their best defensive linemen. He's out.
Corey Lyde, the cornerback, was there creeping up as well to make sure.
So let's see if the Delaware defense can pick up Coach Carty here. Part of the reason you go for that is you trust your defense.
And a timeout taken by Villanova. Play clock was winding all the way down to 4.
First charge timeout, Villanova.
Manny Rojas has had success the last couple of series when he's been able to bring some pressure. But we'll see what Villanova has here if they do go back down to the ground, or if they trust Connor Watkins to at least start the play looking through the air. Helps in these kind of short down yardage situations, Steve, when you have a quarterback you trust with his legs as much as with his arm.
And that's the thing. If you can get some kind of RPO, get him out in space, similar to maybe the play they ran on 1st down in Mace, where he can keep it or can pitch it. But Delaware did a good job stringing out the last play to Ragland when they tried to go wide.
And for more on what Villanova is trying to do offensively here, especially in the running game, send it back down to Tessa.
I caught up with running backs coach Josh Fletcher this week. I asked him, these running backs have been dominant all season. Anything that shocks you when you're up in that press box? And he goes, every game there's been something. In Sunday meetings, we talk about it. And I say, hey, guys, what you were doing, I was impressed with this. I was impressed with that. He goes, it's a part of the growing up process with a bunch of these young running backs is you have to go with the flow and go off that. With Coach Bowden being the play caller, he does a great job of calling things. He thinks these guys know and some things, and he calls to see if they do know. And they always come out on top, these running backs. Seeing those guys pick up and run with it is probably the thing that impresses me the most, guys.
And a big play from the running back, David Abbott, in the catching game. And Tessa was talking with running backs coach Josh Fletcher as well about just the versatility of this Villanova
look
running
at
back
the decision
core.
here, right? Great job by Watkins. He said, I can't get there. Let me look to my safety valve, and it was Abbott out wide, was able to pick up a huge third down.
That will reset things for Villanova. 1st and 10 on Delaware's 35, and a chance for an early knockout punch in the first half. More pressure comes here for Delaware. Watkins gets it out of his hands and unable to link up with his intended target. That was Kenyon Miles.
Yeah, who's been out and in back. He's been injured and back in the lineup today.
It'll be 2nd down and 10, but again, Watkins forced into a throw he wouldn't have loved as the pressure comes.
Yeah, they blocked it up pretty good compared to the last series. Had some time there, good coverage out wide. I think at some point you're going to see the Wildcats take a deep shot against this blitz coverage. If they can get it blocked up, you're going to get one-on-one on the out wide with the corner.
Avid is the running back again after that big 3rd down catch for a big 8 yards. This time, Abbott has Watkins pull it back, thrown across the middle. He's got his man all the way to the end zone. Lucas Kopecky make that Miles 15, not 16 for 20.
And I thought they're getting one-on-one coverage to run a crossing route. The offensive line does a good job giving Watkins enough time. And Miles on the crossing route catches it in stride and walks it into the end zone for a 20-0 Nova lead.
What a play call there for Watkins on the RPO to find his man over the middle.
Yeah, they get it blocked up, and he's got a guy right in his face, but he throws a catchable ball, and Miles just runs away from the defensive back. I think that was Lyde, who was just 2 steps behind him.
To make it 21-0. Right up and good. And Villanova is off and running here in this final edition scheduled of this Delaware-Villanova battle. Connor Watkins to Kenyon Miles through the air, and Villanova rolling on the Villanova Sports Network. To a 21-0 lead as we welcome you back here to Villanova Stadium here in southeastern Pennsylvania. He's Steve Pannone. I'm Ben Curtis. Tessa Peloso has been down on the sidelines giving us the scoop all afternoon long. And Villanova all afternoon long has been able to find success in just about every phase of the game. A 21-0 lead, a 36-yard touchdown pass from Connor Watkins to Kenyon Miles. to really help this Wildcat team break away. Then an onside kick, and it will roll out of bounds. Villanova going into their bag of tricks, looking to really put it away in the first half.
Yeah, I think Ice Waxter had an opportunity there.
And instead,
I don't think he thought it went the 10 yards.
Out of bounds, kicking team. 5-yard penalty is added to the end of the kick. It's first down, Delaware.
Oh, Villanova looking to catch Delaware off guard.
Yeah, it's just a little firm, and I think I take that back. He just didn't get there. It was just kicked a little bit too hard. Now you give the Hens a short field. So if Mark Ferrante takes a gamble with the 21-0 lead, now we talked about Ryan Carty asking his defense to pick him up. They weren't able to do it. Let's see if this defense can pick up Mark Ferrante and the coaching staff.
An opportunity for Delaware's offensive coordinator, Terrence Archer, to work with a shorter field than they were perhaps expecting. The special teams for Villanova trying to really push this one out of reach and out of the timeout. Delaware was able to usher it out of bounds, and now setting up on Villanova's 43-yard line. Short pass to Thaw in the slot. Screen to the wide receiver. He gets a solid gain of about 8 or so. Thaw already has 4 catches today, which puts him up to 41 on the season to match Phil Lutz, whose name we haven't really called much at all today. He's been out there, number 13.
Yeah,
Villanova's done a good job of covering him up.
Yeah, nice pickup on first down. Hens need to come away with points here. Villanova will get the ball to start the second half as well. So
possessions dwindle down in the first half. Delaware trying to make sure that when this game gets to the locker room, they are at least within shouting range. More play action from Minicucci, facing some pressure, rolling out to his right, calling his own number. He's got the first down inside the 30. That's composed from the sophomore.
Yeah, we talked about it. I thought a couple other times he could have tucked it and run, and he decided to throw the football. That time he says, you know what, let me just get this first down, move the sticks, and gets it inside the 30.
Inside 9 minutes to go in the first half, and it's a couple of times now Minicucci's been able to run his way out of some trouble. Villanova dialed up a little bit of pressure. This Villanova defense best in the conference in red zone defense as Delaware tries to get down there. Going to be the second time today. A little bit of trickeration here as they go back to Minicucci on the pass from Thaw, and Minicucci's going to run down inside the 20, inside the 15. It was the direct snap straight to Thaw, who then threw it out to Minicucci, and Delaware reaching back into its bag of tricks.
And that was well blocked downfield. They put a good block on Kimmel. He was the only one out there. And when he broke containment here, he had a pretty much open field. You see Kim 44 trying a good job by the receiver.
Well, Tessa Peloso, when she was talking about what we were to expect at the start of this game, we went down to her for the first time, mentioned that Delaware didn't have much to lose. Not being eligible for the postseason this year, knew that Villanova was going to get every wrinkle left in the book for Delaware. And a little bit of trick play action here, and now an end around on the reverse and some space to run down the right side for JoJo Bermudez, who walks into the end zone, and Delaware responds immediately. Second touchdown of the season for JoJo Bermudez, and the Blue Hens make it 21-6.
Yeah, so a couple of trick plays get the Delaware Blue Hens into the end zone here with 7:49 to go in the second quarter. The Wildcats gamble, the onside kick doesn't work, and Delaware answers with their first points of the game.
And a convoy along that right side with which to operate. Extra points have not been automatic for Delaware this season. They are worst in the conference in extra point percentage, just about 86% or so. But this one is up with no problem and good, and it's 21-7. So after the onside kick attempt for Villanova was unsuccessful, a couple of trick plays in a row to set things up in space for JoJo Bermudez, and Delaware is on the board. So that does change the momentum a little bit and gives this Blue Hens faithful something to cheer about. An excellent traveling crowd, as always, in this rivalry. Not much separates these two teams geographic-wise.
And, that's what Delaware needed, something to get them going, being down 21-0. Now you say, hey, let's go out and get a stop and one more score before the half. We're right back in and make it a one-score game, and you feel a little bit better. Now your defense has got to step up. Villanova's got, they scored on two possessions already. They have the pick six as well, but now's where you need your defense to step up and get you the ball back.
So it feels like a big possession here midway through the second quarter of play. Villanova will go back to receive a kickoff for the first time all afternoon. Nate Reed will try to boom it away. Field position has been a critical element of this first half. Delaware, with its best field position of the game, made the most of it, and Villanova's field position will be right at the 25 after the touchback. So Connor Watkins back to work as a little bit of extra coming together away from the ball.
Yeah, there was 2 Delaware players on top of 1 Wildcat. I don't see a flag yet.
I don't think Villanova's giving some area restaurant recommendations in that coming together. But no flags fly.
And Mark Varani wants to know why not.
We'll be right at the 25 to start things off. Has been an emotionally charged game. It always is when these two teams meet.
And Mark Varani having a quiet conversation with the side judge, exactly what happened there.
Not an adjective that often describes Mark Ferrante's conversations with officials. It was over on the Delaware side of the field, over by their bench, so a long way from where Mark Ferrante would have had a vantage point at it. Regardless, 1st and 10 from the 25, more pressure from the Delaware front line, and it's handed off to Avid, and he barrels forward for a gain of maybe 3.
Yeah, it's a good patient run by Avid as he gets up, about 3 yards, where it looked like he was going to be bottled up for no gain. He showed good patience, was able to get that out there.
The word mature has been used a lot in this Villanova program to describe Avid this year, just a freshman. But as you said, the patience to be able to wait out the Delaware front line and see where any sort of space was. Avid has 31 yards and a touchdown today. Watkins will take it himself right up the gut, diving forward to set up 3rd down and medium. It'll be 3rd and about 4. The Delaware making sure that they keep everything in front of them right now, and an opportunity to continue the momentum swing that's really gone the Blue Hens' way. The Delaware crowd starts to get involved on the far side.
Big 3rd down here. Obviously, worst case scenario, well, you can run 2 more minutes off the clock if you choose to.
Each team
trying
with
to
2
limit these possessions
left.
here in the first half.
Delaware band has made the trip up I-95 and across 476.
Delaware's had success with pressure. Wildcats beat it last time with a crossing route to Miles.
See if Watkins goes through the air again. Play clock a factor. They get it off. Looking left, throwing left. That one is for Kopecky. It's well defended. That's Nate Evans, the former NC State Wolfpack cornerback who was there running stride for stride with Lucas Kopecky.
Yeah, it looked like he never got his head turned around, but the ball just was a little bit underthrown. You get that a little bit deeper. I think Kopecky can make a play on it. It's just straight one-on-one. A lot of hand fighting there. Maybe, and just if that ball's out a little further, you might even get the call.
Oftentimes you do see those underthrown ball interference calls, but Kopecky didn't come back for the ball. And Villanova is forced off the field, and a big swing of momentum continues for Delaware. Short punt takes a Villanova bounce, though a big one. And it will roll all the way down to the 32, about 15 or so yards after the bounce, and some more chatting and a little bit extra between a couple of Villanova and Delaware players.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Jalen Sanchez was doing there. I don't think the whistle had blown, so he was blocking or two-hand touching one of the Delaware players. Good job by Terrell Mims to get him out of there.
Yeah, then Mims kind of went over towards the sideline and did those 2 palms down, kind of settle things down, universal signal. So Delaware with an opportunity again to cut the deficit.
Yeah, big series in this game here. 6:11 to go in the first half. Delaware looking to cut this to a 1-score game.
You can really feel things swinging back the way of the visitors after that great 21-0 Villanova start. The onside kick wasn't successful. It went out of bounds. Delaware converted. And then the Blue Hens defense gets off the field and sets things back up again for Nick Minicucci, who is again looking to the air. Short pass. There's Phil Lutz for the first time today. Bounces out of his first tackle. And the former Tufts Jumbo in his 2nd year of work now with Delaware gets things out past the 35.
Yeah, so nice pickup on 1st down.
Former NESCAC player in the D3 level. Delaware has gone to the transfer portal a lot, especially in the wide receiving core. Max Patterson, former Rutgers player. We've already talked about Thaw coming in from Michigan. Nicholas LeBoy, we haven't seen today. He came from Cornell. Swing pass over towards the left side. That's Kelly again. He's got the first down and a little extra out towards midfield. Will be stopped about 2 yards short of that 50-yard line, but the Blue Hens moving the ball well now. And there's a Villanova player on a knee back behind the field.
That's Richie Kimmel.
That's a
He's
bad
had some
sign.
shoulder issues, and it looks like it might be another one here.
Timeout for an injured player.
That is not a good sign for Villanova. The senior who has 50 tackles this year has been a critical part of the linebacker core for Villanova, and he is still struggling to get up. Shane Hartzell and Brendan Bell have made up the rest of this linebacker core that's really been part of the heart and soul of this Villanova defense. Bell already with one of the plays of the day as Kimmel was able to walk off, thankfully.
Yeah, it looks like his right shoulder is the issue. You see him working on it there.
Bell's pick six was one of the turning points of this game. Came with about 3 minutes left to go in the opening quarter. That made it, after the extra point, 14-0. And then a 36-yard link up between Connor Watkins and Kenyon Miles made it 21-0. But since then, Delaware's been able to move the ball a little bit better, and you get a look at Kimmel engaged.
Kelly
with
did a good job. It looked like he was going to run out of bounds. He cut it back up, picked up another 4 or 5 yards.
So it'll be first down on Delaware's own 48 as Kimmel continues to get that right shoulder worked on the Villanova sideline.
Yeah, it'll be Jordan Nelson in to replace him.
Senior from Pennsylvania does have 18 tackles this year and a fumble recovery. See if he comes up with a big play, the senior. Direct run for Minicucci, and he's got some room to work with along the left side. Another Delaware first down inside the 40.
Yeah, so kind of a broken play that leads to a first down. I think that ball was intended to go to the sweep to Bermudez, I believe, again. And then when he bobbled the snap, he decides to keep it, and he picks up a first down.
Good improvisation from Minicucci. You said it, Jojo Bermudez was there over to take that play that was all depending on timing, and instead Minicucci was just able to take the space in front of him and pick up another Delaware first down. This time Minicucci will go to the air, at least he'll try to, stepping up in the pocket, throwing over the middle. He's got his man Kelly right down towards the marker again.
They're going to mark him just short at the 30.
Minicucci keeping his eyes downfield as he navigated a pocket that was collapsing in on him.
Yeah, there was some pressure coming, and he does a good job of stepping up, head up, make a throw. Good catch.
Second down and 1 on Villanova's 30 as Delaware moves the ball once again. The second quarter has been the quarter where Delaware has scored the most points this season. Minicucci takes it himself, lunges towards the line to gain, think he's got it.
Yeah, that'll be a first down. Clock continues to tick here, just under 3 minutes and 35 seconds.
And Delaware, recognizing that Villanova will get the ball to start the second half, won't be in any sort of hurry to leave time on the clock. As Minicucci was able to wrong foot Shane Hartzell, who was right there on him.
This is a big series. Obviously 21-14 is a lot different even than 21-10. If Wildcats can keep the hens out of the end zone.
And Minicucci again back to the play action.
There's got to be a hold there on. It's not going to be called. I thought Shannon Pierre got grabbed as he came through and just got pulled down.
Nothing open downfield though, so Minicucci just took the 1 or 2 yards in front of him. Minicucci's done a good job of that today. He has not panicked when the pocket has collapsed in on him. Just a sophomore who hasn't had a ton of playing time this year. Coming into play today, he'd only thrown 92 passes all year.
See, watch Pierre 52 just gets pulled down right there. You can see that he's got a hand in the back of his jersey.
That's Finton Burrows, who's been a graduate student who's been along the offensive line, been in all-conference selection a couple times for Delaware. Might have gotten away with 1. Down to 2.5 to go. Play clock down to 7. And a run along the left side again. Minicucci got past 1 tackle, then got dragged to the ground right around the 20. It'll be third down and very short.
Yeah, 3rd and 1.
Right now, Delaware using Yarns as a decoy more than anything to get Villanova thinking about him and allow Minicucci to continue to run well.
Let's see if they run this down to the 2-minute warning.
Delaware does not have to run another play before the stoppage for 2 minutes.
He's going to call it 3rd and 2.
They have to hurry if they're going to get something off before the 2-minute timeout. They will not, and that will take us down to the 2-minute timeout here in the first half. Villanova went up 21-0, but Delaware responded. They're driving, looking for more. Conclusion to the first half in this one when we come back. You're watching the Villanova Sports Network.
Can't hide what makes NJM Insurance so great. Although some may try. we're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. What if all insurance companies were like NJM and didn't use mascots? And were known for putting their policyholders first. Then all those insurance mascots would have to get real jobs. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
Big third down coming up here for the Villanova defense that will likely be without Richie Kimmel. For more on what is going on with Kimmel, we go downstairs to Tessa.
Yeah, guys, Richie Kimmel was in the blue tent just for a short time. They didn't close the curtains on either side. It looked like they were just fixing his shoulder pads. It looked that they needed to be readjusted, but he walked right out, guys.
That's certainly a good sign for Villanova if it doesn't sound too serious for Kimmel. Critical part of this Villanova linebacker core. And what is a critical third down? 3rd and 2. Right on Villanova's 20-yard line as Delaware looks to continue to close the gap.
Yeah, and I do see Kimmel down on the sideline with his Villanova teammates, so that's a good sign. Helmet is on.
Great reporting from Tessa, as per usual.
So a big 3rd down here.
Yarns is once again the running back. Minicucci leads the team in rushing yards. 8 rushes for 45 yards for the quarterback. See what the Blue Hens have drawn up here. They go to the right side. Yarns doesn't have much to work with.
He's going to be short, so it's going to be 4th down and about a yard. And I'm sure they will go for this. Villanova defense has been really good all year on these short yardage situations.
But Delaware's been really good on 4th down. They are 0 for 1 today, but coming into play today, 65% on 4th down. They bring in the package.
I see Elijah Simmons in there, 255-pound tight end.
Villanova side of the field starts to get loud. Direct snap to Yarns. He has the 1st down and continuing to move out to the right side. Yarns, the whistle never blew. Yarns reaching to the pylon, and he's just short of the end zone, but Marcus Yarns never stopped churning the feet. He's got the 1st down and a lot more.
The goal line, 1st down.
And there's a Villanova player back behind the play.
So a huge play. Not only does he pick up the 1st down, but he breaks the tackle here. Looks like Terrell Mims has got him by the jersey, but now he's never down. And then he keeps chugging along down at about the 2-yard line.
And he is great shot by our Villanova Sports Network crew. Just a little bit short, but right now the attention turning towards the Villanova player who is down on the sidelines. He's on his back. We can't see his number, but Villanova's run into a little bit of injury issues on the defensive side of things in the 1st half.
I think it's Ethan Potter.
Yeah.
And he's hopefully going to be able to walk it off. So that's, you know, remember Goodman is out in the secondary as well. So that would be 2 of your starting safeties out if Potter's unable to continue.
And that would really turn Christian Sapstay into a big one.
After a quick review, the runner was out at the 1-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal.
Those quick reviews are pretty new to college football. They were a really good thing.
Yeah, and they had the benefit of the player being down, so they had more time to look at it. And he reaches for the pylon, doesn't get there, but
what an effort that was.
They get it right there. He's out at the 1.
What an effort that was, though, from Marcus Yarns, who has been held relatively in check today by his standards. One of his biggest rushes in the context of things of the year to not only get the 4th down conversion, but set up 1st and goal from the 1. And now here comes the Delaware offense back to work. And you imagine that Yarns will be the player everyone's keying in on again.
And they're going Wildcat again, I would think.
Well, Minicucci's
out there, but I would not be shocked if they went direct handoff to Yarns.
1 receiver out to the right.
It worked last time on 4th and 1. See if they want to do it 1st and goal.
1:17 to go in the half. Minicucci, handoff. Yarns into the end zone for a touchdown. Delaware right back within 1 score. Punch, counter punch here in the Battle of the Blue in the 1st half.
Yeah, so that big 4th down conversion got it down to 1st and goal, and then Yarns punches it in. 21-13 with the extra point to come.
Marcus Yarns has been critical to what Delaware has done offensively for years now with this Blue Hen program, and gets another touchdown. That is now number 6 on the season for him. Mentioned that Delaware is worst in the conference in PAT percentage, about 86%, but they're 2 for 2 today. Villanova, by the way, one of only 3 schools to be perfect on extra points this year. Everyone's perfect on extra points so far, and the 5 touchdowns that have been scored, the latest being Marcus Yarns driving into the end zone for a 1-yard score, and it's back to a 1-score game.
A good push up front. They only, you only need a yard, and you got a running back like Yarns. It's not going to take much.
Yarns isn't the biggest frame, just 5'11", 190 pounds, but that lower body strength just continuing to propel him forward. Yeah. And now a minute 13 for Villanova.
And with a pretty good chance you're going to have the ball at the 20.
We'll have to kick a field goal into the wind, which is really howling right now as much as it has been all day. Ethan Getman's season long is 42 yards, which would put it down to the 25. You add 5 yards for the wind, and Villanova would have to get down to the 20 to really solidly be in field goal range. And they'll start at their own 25, and we'll see what Mark Ferrante wants to do in terms of how aggressive he is going to make things. And
I always think, Ben, in these series, a lot of times it depends on first down. You know, if you can pick up 5 or 6 on first down, you think to get a little bit more aggressive. Delaware with 2 timeouts here, so they could stop the clock and try to get the ball back too. A 3 and out. You know, if the Wildcats want to run 3 downs, they can only stop it twice.
Villanova with 2 timeouts as well, as you can see at the bottom of your screen. So see what Connor Watkins is able to engineer here.
And since I'm getting the ball to start the second half, I'm going to run the football here and see if I can hit one. If not, I'm probably going to run 3 times. And if I have to punt it away with 25 seconds to go, I'll take my chances.
See how aggressive the Wildcats are. Watkins will go to the air to start things off. He's looking right, he's throwing right, and it's out of the reach of his intended target, Jalen Sanchez.
Yeah, I think that's a mistake by Connor Watkins there. Just go run the ball and get tackled inbounds and keep the clock running.
1:07 now left to go. Watkins, the graduate student, now on 2nd down and 10. We'll see if that changes things up and forces Villanova to be a bit more conservative.
Now, if you want to be conservative, though, they'll have 2 timeouts left. They'll get the ball back with 50 seconds to go or so. Certainly enough time to get a long field goal attempt. That's why I like the run on first down, and then you can maybe force Delaware to use a timeout, or you can run 40 seconds off the clock.
Again, back to the air. Watkins looking over the middle. He's got his man. That's Devin Smith out to the 45, and now Villanova can start to move it.
Yeah, now you stop the clock to move the chains. And with the win, that's a good aggressive play. Now you're thinking field goal. So much for my conservative approach. Now you're thinking, hey, let's go get 3 points.
Under a minute now to go left in the first half. Watkins under some duress, lofts it to the middle. It's intercepted. Tyron Herring.
That was the one thing he couldn't do, is he kind of threw that ball up for grabs.
Herring's first interception of the year, and the graduate student transfer from Dartmouth comes up with one of his biggest plays in a Blue Hen jersey.
Yeah, that ball just floats out in the flat. There's a couple receivers out there, but they look like they were well covered. Let's take a look at this. He gets a little bit of pressure in his face. Not sure where he's going with that ball. It looks like probably Sanchez, and it sailed on him.
Watkins had to throw off of his back foot as well, and Herring, a semifinalist for the William V. Campbell Trophy. Honors both academics, football, leadership as well.
Now, Delaware with 50 seconds and 2 timeouts here has plenty of time to get in the field goal range, if not more.
The graduate student from Delray Beach, Florida, with a huge play on the turnover side of things. And now Minicucci flushed down to the pocket. He's going to get out of bounds smartly.
Yes, good decision there by Minicucci. Only picks up 3, but gets out of bounds to keep the timeouts.
Tyron Herring in his 2nd year with the Blue Hens after spending a couple of years in the Ivy League with Dartmouth. With a smart play that time to take it back away, and now Delaware can start to think about tacking on some more points.
Yeah, with the win, you've seen the leg.
Reed's season long is 41, which puts you down to about the 24-yard line or so, but you are kicking with the wind if you're Delaware. Wide open along the right side is Yarns. Nobody picked up Yarns, and he's going all the way down the sideline for a touchdown. 2 touchdowns for Marcus Yarns in the span of less than a minute, and Delaware's an extra point away from tying this ball game up just before halftime.
So maybe my conservative philosophy back then wasn't so bad after all, but the completion to Smith set him up in an opportunity to go for it, the interception, and now the quick strike to Yarns. We got a tie ball game if they can convert an extra point.
Delaware back to life after, with 9:49 to go in the second quarter. It was 21-0 Villanova. You flash forward 9 minutes and 17 seconds of game time, and it's 21-21, and we got a ball game here at Villanova Stadium.
And it all started with an onside kick that the Wildcats tried that wasn't successful. That's him in motion out of the back. Looks like Bell's with him, but we can't see right now what happened. Where's the missed coverage? And he's just wide open. There's no one within 15 yards of him.
On the wheel route, Marcus Yarns found plenty of space to operate, and Nick Minicucci found it. 7 touchdowns now on the season for Marcus Yarns.
So not exactly sure what the breakdown in coverage was there. It looked like Bell went out with him. It was probably in some kind of zone, and I don't know if the corner was supposed to roll up or it's Bell's responsibility, but regardless, it's a 21-21 game.
Last year, he was second-team All-Conference and third-team All-American, which shows how much talent there is in this conference. And the graduate student from Salisbury, Maryland and Parkside High School levels up this contest at 21 apiece. 30 seconds left, and we'll see if Villanova attempts to re-engage offensively or if they'll just take a knee into halftime.
You need to take a knee here and regroup. These last 9 minutes have not been what you wanted offensively or defensively for that matter. So it's time to take a knee. You're going to get the ball to start the second half and come back out.
A touchdown for Marcus Yarns on a 1-yard rush, then a Tyron Herring interception, and then a Yarns 65-yard catch and run. Two touchdowns within 41 seconds for Delaware to completely change the outlook of this first half, and Connor Watkins will just take a knee. Delaware will not take a timeout, and these two teams will head back into the locker room right where they started, with Delaware getting all the momentum. A 21-21 score at halftime as both teams will retreat and sort out what will be a lot to work with in the second half. Connor Watkins started out this contest so well, but that Tyron Herring interception set things up the other way for Delaware. And then it was all finished off by the 65-yard catch and run from Marcus Yarns as we are tied at halftime. We come back, a lot to talk about at halftime as we will look back at the first half and ahead towards the second. It's 21-21 Delaware and Villanova at the break on the Villanova Sports Network.
In moments of vulnerability, it's only human to seek warmth and expertise. Mainline Health is the place where both your health and humanity matter, where ultrasounds come with understanding, where tests are met with tenderness, where EKGs are as important as empathy, the place where you will never be your only advocate, the place for a lifetime of care delivered neighbor to neighbor. Mainline Health, where human care has a home.
Home is for making dreams come true, for making memories that will last, for forging lifelong friendships, for watching your loved ones grow. The time is now to find the freedom that comes with pre-qualifying for a new home, or refinance in minutes and unlock the freedom to do the exciting things you've always wanted to do. Whichever path you choose, you can achieve your goals and celebrate the freedom of home ownership with Freedom Mortgage. Start making your dreams a reality at freedommortgage.com/dreams.
Today's game is presented by Independence Blue Cross. A 21-21 score at halftime here at the Battle of the Blue between Villanova and Delaware as we take a look at the halftime stats here on the Villanova Sports Network and get a look at just what happened in that first half. It was all Villanova to start things out. They had a 21-0 lead, then 3 straight touchdowns for the Blue Hens.
Yeah, it was really like two halves within one half. The Wildcats in the first quarter and the first 6 minutes of the second quarter dominating the game. And then Delaware comes back and makes some plays, mostly by Marcus Yarns, and it's now a 21-21 game.
Well, we looked at Yarns at the start of the broadcast. We knew we were going to hear from him at some point. That 65-yard catch and run off of the wheel route where he was just completely unmarked by the Villanova defense really put things back level for Delaware as they scored 21 unanswered to tie it back up. As we welcome you back here inside the broadcast booth at Villanova Stadium, he's Steve Pinot and I'm Ben Curtis. Tessa Pelosa has been down on the sidelines with us all afternoon as well. How does Villanova respond in that second half? They had a lot to deal with in the first half as we get a look at some of the top performers for Villanova. Brendan Bell was really solid defensively. We knew David Abbott was going to be a big part of things for Villanova in the ground game. Connor Watkins has been solid.
I thought he was good until that last throw. You want that one back. That was the turnover late that turned into the big play to Yarn. So other than that one throw, I thought Watkins did a good job managing the game. He hit the big touchdown pass to Miles, has run the ball well, but just the one decision late to kind of throw that one up for grabs that got intercepted.
Brendan Bell with that big pick six that really jolted things for Villanova into another gear. They had a 14-0 lead at that time. They added more off of Kenyon Miles' catch and run for a touchdown. They needed 21-0, but then Villanova conceded the 3 straight touchdowns. As you said, it all started with that onside kick that set things up for a short field for Delaware.
And they were able to convert that, and you get to look at some of the numbers, which are going to be skewed towards Delaware offensively, especially 131 yards rushing. They doubled the Wildcats up there. Passing yards not too far off, but the first downs, Delaware's been able to convert on third down at a pretty good number, and fourth down as well. And the penalty yards pretty much a wash. Both teams have committed 3 fouls.
And we'll see what the second half has in store, but for more, we'll send it downstairs. Tessa Pelosa.
I walked into half with Coach Front. I asked him, how do you change this momentum going into the second half and keep Delaware off the board? And he said, now, it's the start of a new game. It's 0-0. Now it's a 30-minute game instead of a 60-minute game. He goes, we just have to play smarter in the second half, guys.
Awesome stuff, Tessa, and that is going to be a critical part of what Villanova is going to be able to do, and Delaware for that as well. Who is going to be able to get what they need in the second half as we take a look back at some of the big plays of that first half. As we look at the first half highlights, it was all Villanova to start things off, and 1-yard rush for David Abbott got Villanova out to the early advantage, and Villanova was off and running from there.
Yeah, then you see Minicucci here trying to get it out there. The ball's tipped, I think, at the line of scrimmage. It goes a little high, and Bell's able to grab it, run it all the way back. The Wildcats at that point led 14-0.
And things kept on going Villanova's way after that. Connor Watkins on the play action had Kenyon Miles all alone, streaking over the middle of the field for what was one of the longest plays of the day for Villanova, a 36-yard touchdown catch. That made it 21-0 Cats. And Villanova was thinking about rolling away with it, but then Delaware got engaged on the offensive side.
Yeah, they were able to get some plays out wide here. You see the throwback to Minicucci, who did a good job getting downfield. They had a couple plays like that, just going wide. Here's the reverse. The Bermudez who got in, I think that was their first score of the game.
And then from there, Delaware just continued to capitalize on the momentum. Marcus Yarns with that big 4th and 1 rush to not only get the first down, but get all the way down to the 1-yard line, and then he finished things off himself from down by the goal line. That made it just a 1-score game, and with a minute 13 left to go in the first half, Delaware's thinking, okay, we're back within 1 score going into the break if we can hold Villanova here, but they did more than that as Tyron Herring got the interception.
And really throwing into double coverage as the defender had come off the lobe. So this is maybe a wide angle there. You see Yarns. Bell just doesn't come out wide. Both guys go in, and Waxter goes in along with Bell, and no one picks him up as he goes outside him.
And Marcus Yarns did the rest for a 65-yard wheel route catch and run, and just like that, Delaware was tied at 21-21, and Villanova with work to do to get back to the offensive side of things when we come back. And a lot to discuss at halftime for both of these two teams. A lot for us to do at halftime as well. For more on Villanova Athletics, episode 1 of a new video series called Nova Spotlight with Eric Dixon.
You know now that this is it. This is the last run in Villanova. Like there's no do-overs, right? So what do you want? I don't mean like numbers and games and things like that. What do you want for this year to be for yourself and for your teammates by extension?
I just want
coming back to Villanova, different experience than when you first arrived. What does it feel like now versus then? What feels different about kind of your last go through?
Honestly, I don't know. I think the great part about here is that it feels kind of the same. The same people are here for the most part that I care a lot about, and I think knowing that they care about the program a lot, this helps me every single day come in and want to compete and want to get better. But obviously things are different, right? I'm the older guy now. We got a lot of young guys. But I think that the young guys, the new guys, they're hungry to be here and they want to be here. So, I think if you're anywhere for 5-6 years, you might take it for granted at some point. And I think just coming in and having them ask questions and having them get better at things every single day and just pick up little things and take enjoyment in getting the little things done. I think just them doing that and me being in there definitely has made things better for me.
Do you see your freshman self in them sometimes?
Definitely a few of them. And then, you can see just a little bit of doubt that they have when they mess something up, and then like the excitement they have when they get something right. And I just try to tell them, just keep taking it day by day. At some point, you'll be like me. You'll feel like you have everything down, and you feel like you're ready to teach the next person, and you'll be excited to do it. So I just have to take it day by day and be patient with themselves.
Do they tease you about being the old man?
Yeah, all the time. I think that I act young. I just think that I fit in. So it's not too crazy, but yeah, an occasional unk here, OG there, but not too crazy.
You're a big brother. Do you feel like sometimes that's how you are with your teammates?
Well, my little brother, actually I don't play basketball at all. So it's a little different. These guys acknowledge that I do play a sport and that I am good at it. My own little brother cares nothing at all. But, I think just being there for them and the off-the-court stuff and helping them deal with classes and social things and the schedule and the push and the grind of growing up and taking on some new challenge, yeah, definitely see some similarities there.
So your ability to come back is different than it might have been when you were a freshman, right? There are more options because of things like Friends of Nova and NIL. How did that make the decision to come back a more natural flow?
I think the cool thing about Friends of Nova is helped me get out into the community more as I get older. I go talk to these places and talk to places that I've played before and that I've been in and that I've been the kids in, that listen to the special talk and come in. So for me to be able to go and do those things and get some type of competition for it definitely feels great. It's definitely a nice little perk coming back.
A lot of people don't talk about the community angle of this, like non-basketball conversations that Friends of Nova and NIL have opened up for you.
Yeah, so I play a lot of basketball in the inner city and other places like that. So for me to go back and talk to people who don't necessarily play sports or that, I know a lot of times if I go to a camp with 60, 70 kids, like not 50 of them are not going to play basketball, and even in high school. So for me, I think I just try to tell them, about basketball being an outlet, about it being a way to express yourself, instead of going and maybe getting angry and wanting to yell at somebody or fight someone. Go pick up a basketball, go pick up your pencil, do homework, do math homework. One thing I always say when I talk is, I can't say that I want to be the best basketball player that I can be and not go work on basketball. So you can't say that you want to be the best at math and not do extra problem. Or you can't say you want to be an author and not read extra. So I think just little things like that, relating to the kids in that way, it's been nice.
What do you get from it?
I think just enjoyment and giving back. I'm not old, but I'm old. So I think just being able to give back knowledge, and like I said, a lot of places that I go back to, I played in. So I know the camp director, I know the coaches there. I think just to go back and see those people and reconnect with them and also give back to the community has been nice. One thing that's been really great for me throughout my entire life is I've ran into great people. So it's hard to forget good people. You might forget a game or a shot, but those faces and those voices are always nice to see.
You know now that this is it. This is the last round of Villanova. Like there's no do-overs, right? So what do you want? I don't mean like numbers and games and things like that. What do you want for this year to be for yourself and for your teammates by extension?
I just want a lot of people to be proud. Like I said, it's the faces, it's the voices, and I know professors and deans and alumni, all types of different people that I'm going to come back to throughout my entire life. And I think I just want them to know that in my last year, as well as the rest of my career, but especially in my last year, that I gave them everything that I had and that I cared about the V on my shirt just as much as they care about the V on theirs. So I think just that common unified pride and being a Villanovan is the thing I'm most looking forward to.
moments of vulnerability, it's only human to seek warmth and expertise. Mainline Health is the place where both your health and humanity matter, where ultrasounds come with understanding, where tests are met with tenderness, where EKGs are as important as empathy, the place where you will never be your only advocate, the place for a lifetime of care delivered neighbor to neighbor. Mainline Health, where human care has a home.
Home is for making dreams come true, for making memories that will last, for forging lifelong friendships, for watching your loved ones grow. The time is now to find the freedom that comes with pre-qualifying for a new home, or refinance in minutes and unlock the freedom to do the exciting things you've always wanted to do. Whichever path you choose, you can achieve your goals and celebrate the freedom of home ownership with Freedom Mortgage. Start making your dreams a reality at freedommortgage.com/dreams.
Time here at Villanova Stadium on the final day of the regular season, and Villanova, the number 15 team in the nation, facing a fight from the Delaware Blue Hens in their final game before moving to Conference USA. We welcome you back here on the Villanova Sports Network alongside Steve Pannone. I'm Ben Curtis. Tessa Peloso has been with us on the sidelines all afternoon as well. Talked about it at halftime in case you're tuning in a little bit late. Villanova scored the first 3 touchdowns. Delaware scored the next 3 touchdowns, including getting 14 points in the final 73 seconds of the first half, and all the momentum with the visiting Blue Hens at halftime. But how will Villanova be able Villanova perhaps will be able to use that to their advantage. Villanova has won 14 straight home games dating back to mid-2022. But there's been a lot of Delaware fans here today making plenty of noise, and there's been a lot of Delaware playmakers as well, especially in that second quarter.
Yeah, it's been a really good football game. You know, you Villanova with a really fast start, and then Delaware with an answer, which you expect from a good football team. And I expect Villanova to answer here in the second half as being a good football team as well. So it's probably going to be really interesting to see key if which defense can get a stop first, I think would be big, and that would try to get, maybe flip the field, something like that. The wind's still going to play a factor. Especially I saw, the kicker for Delaware, Reed, was out there. He was booming him from 55 without a problem with the wind. So that would be interesting. And the Hens will have the wind in the fourth quarter, so an advantage to them late in the game.
Delaware's not eligible for the postseason, despite them being 9-1. We talked about in the open, again, in case you're tuning in a little bit late, as part of their transition to Conference USA and FBS. They will not be able to play in the playoffs, so we know it's their last game of the year, but you also know that they want to beat their old rivals, Villanova, one more time before they make the move. A lot of pride on the line for the Blue Hens and for Villanova, and of course the postseason implications of a win over a 9-1 Delaware team as well on the line if Villanova is able to pull this out in the second half. 21 up as we get start for the third quarter of play. Villanova back to receive. They'll be moving from left to right, attacking that goal just outside your picture when we do get going, and the wind already a factor.
Close the ball. Ben, nice to see Ethan Potter is back out. He went out in the first half. He's back. One of the kick returns wrong with Jabril Mace. And we talk about special teams could be a big part. The last time they played, the Wildcats blocked 2 punts. It was a huge part of the game.
And a short kickoff into the wind.
And an interesting sliding catch by Mace there. That was an interesting play.
Yeah, it looked like he was playing center field down the road in Plymouth Meeting, where Villanova baseball plays their home games.
It was a nice job by Reed. He kicked that ball really high, so it allowed his coverage team to get down there.
Biggest special teams play of the day was the onside kick that went out of bounds that really set things up for Delaware. Get a short field.
It looked like he was there. Getman just kicked the ball too hard. It didn't give Waxter a chance to get on it. He would have been the first one to the ball, but just kicked it so hard that Waxter wasn't able to get to it. And it ended up going out of bounds, giving this short field, and that got Delaware going.
First series of the second half for Villanova, and Connor Watkins 7 for 14. There you see his numbers. 28 yards on the ground as well for Watkins. Abbott on first down bumps out of a tackle and then gets bottled up back behind the line of scrimmage. Abbott had 31 yards at a touchdown in the first half. Nothing doing on the opening play of the third.
So the Wildcats lose 4 yards there on first down. 2nd and 14. So the Delaware defense comes out and makes a big play on first down. See if the Wildcats can come back from 2nd and long.
Right there to bottle things up. A couple of Delaware players in the mix. Ty Davis came in for the linebacker position to make sure that Abbott didn't have anywhere to go. And so behind the sticks are the Wildcats to start things off. Play clock down under 10. More pressure comes. Abbott on the screen gets out of it. Abbott's got some room to run out towards the line to gain. He's got the first down. Manny Rojas has been dialing up the pressure more in the second and third.
Really
and
good call.
Beats him on the
really
screen.
Good call by Chris Bowden. I think he knew it was coming too. So let him come. We'll swing it out to Abbott. Let's get a blocker out front from our wide receiver. You see it right there. Good job by Sanchez, and that gets Abbott out. He picks up 15 and get him a first down.
So that erases the negative play on first down as Abbott gets things done on the pass catching side of things. He's the only Villanova player now with multiple receptions. 7 different receivers in the first half all caught a pass from Connor Watkins off of his 7 completions. Watkins trying to evade some pressure. He gets out of a tackle and he'll just throw it out of bounds.
Smart decision there to not take the loss and get it out of bounds, make it 2nd and 10.
Watkins showing off the athleticism to evade the tackle. Looked like there was a Delaware player, it might have been Jack Hall, who had a handful of his jersey, who was able to get out of it and set up 2nd down and 10. Sun starting to be a factor as well. There's a little bit of shade right towards the midfield side of things, as you can see. So if receivers are trying to catch the ball in that part of the field, they'll be tracking the ball from the sun into the shade. Might make things a little bit more difficult. More pressure comes on Watkins. He gets rid of it down the left side. And again, the pressure alters Watkins' throw.
Yeah, he just overthrew that one as he had a lot of guys right in his face.
Delaware doesn't have a sack today, but they've had 3 or 4 of those QB hurry-ups, if you want to call them.
Your pressures, and force them to get the ball. QB hits as well. And there's just too many guys to block. Here comes the late rusher. And one of these times, Villanova's going to have to make them pay. We did it with Miles early in the first half. They're going to have to try to hit one of those. That time they look to try to hit Smith on the go route. Just got to put a little bit more under that when it's that one-on-one coverage. You can say, even if it's under the throw, and you come back and try to get the interference call.
Delaware fans trying to help their team get off the field. Villanova 2 for 4 on 3rd downs in the first half. Here comes the house yet again. Pressuring the throw, but this time Sanchez is there in the open field. Sanchez makes the cut inside the 40.
And that's what it is. It's one-on-one coverage. So if you can just get enough time to get the ball out there, let your receiver adjust to the football. And that time Jalen Sanchez able to do that, pick up a huge first down.
On cover 0.
Yeah, good pickup by Isaiah Ragland. Good blitz pickup.
And then Sanchez did the rest after the catch. And a big pickup to get inside the 40.
Wildcats are able to flip the field at least.
Gain of about 27 yards or so.
You almost like go max protect and take your shots one-on-one with the wideouts.
This time Watkins on the ground himself. He's got a seam up the middle.
Go,
Connor
Connor!
Watkins still all the way to the end zone for a touchdown. Momentum back the way with Villanova on the opening drive of the second half.
What a decision by Connor Watkins to keep the football there. Credit the guys up front. He found a hole, and then he just put it down and got it into overdrive into the end zone.
Back and forth we go here on the main line. Watkins, 38-yard scamper to the house.
Good job here. You'll see it. They fake it out, and he's just a good job there by the center, Picard. And then Watkins loses his legs all the way to the end zone.
Extra point is through, and it's 28-21. Villanova scored the first 3 touchdowns. Delaware scored the next 3. And then Villanova comes out in the second half and gets things started. Get one more look from the reverse angle. Watkins sold the pass on the outside and then took it up the middle himself. And just outran everybody wearing Delaware blue and gold. And so Villanova with the lead back for the first time here in the 3rd quarter after that great end to the 2nd quarter from Delaware. And now back to work for this Delaware offense. How can they counterpunch?
Not that it matters anymore, but I talked with someone connected with the Villanova sideline, and that was not a planned onside kick. It was a squib kick that they had scheduled, and they felt the ball kind of started falling off the tee, and that's why Getman wasn't able to make solid contact with it. So that was not a planned onside kick as we all thought and looked like live on TV. So I want to make sure that that's out there. That was not a planned onside kick.
The wind impacting this game in a lot of different ways that you don't think of at first thought. That one right down to the goal line, so it'll be taken back out past the 20. Room to operate for Bermudez out towards the 25. Bermudez has a lane out towards midfield. He gets past the 40-yard line. It'll be good field position for Delaware.
Yeah, it's a really nice run by Bermudez. One of the Wildcats is down. He was one of the first. It might be Ice Waxter. Unfortunately, we hope it's not him. He'll be an important part of the defensive secondary today.
And one more look at the run back. Bermudez making a couple of players miss, but Steve said there's the Villanova player back down at around the 15-yard line or so that's getting the attention right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Ice Waxter. That would be a huge loss out on the edge.
A 43-yard run back for JoJo Bermudez.
It looked like a non-contact. Looked like he extended his arm, so I don't want to speculate, but maybe an upper body issue with a shoulder or a wrist. Fortunately, he's sitting up, so let's hope it's something he can get back from.
That is Waxter, though, number 0. He's been critical for Villanova. He's forced 3 fumbles this year. He's been involved on so much. And this Villanova secondary that's already a little bit short-handed is going to get a little bit more so.
He's walking off under his own power, as you see there, but very gingerly.
Jalen Goodman, safety, already ejected from a first-half targeting. Ethan Potter's been in and out with a little bit of injury trouble. Same with Richie Kimmel at the linebacker role. Kimmel's back out there to start the second half. That's a good sign.
You know, what a good answer from Villanova after giving up 21 straight to get the ball in the second half. And they converted third. They were actually at 2nd and 14 at one point. They converted that. And then the Watkins long run for the touchdown.
Yeah, that screen on 2nd and 14 to get the first down for Abbott set things up. Got Villanova moving. There you see Nick Minicucci's numbers from the first half. That doesn't include the 48 yards on the ground that he had. Fairly similar style for each of these two quarterbacks, who can be entrusted with going on the ground as well as through the air. That time Marcus Yarns gets nothing.
Yeah, they've had a much better job. Well, Yarns had the really good run on 4th and 1, but everything else that he's been successful, obviously the long pass play, but it's been out wide. Hasn't had a great day between the tackles except for that 4th and 1 run, which he broke down to the 1-yard line.
Yarns averages about 6 2/3 yards per carry. Today he's been held down under 4.5.
And he also had a run on like 3rd and 20 where he picked up 12 or 15 that Villanova kind of just was happy to give up those yards.
Yeah, that was when Delaware was backed all the way up by their own goal line. And Minicucci back to the air again, throws over the middle.
You're going to have to put some pressure on. You just can't let Minicucci, who's been pretty accurate all day, except for the one tip ball, sit back there and pick you apart.
That is the leading receiver this year for Delaware, Phil Lutz. First down, or rather it'll be 3rd down and a half a yard short.
Yeah, the Wildcats are going to have to generate more out of their front 3, or that'll force them to send some guys.
Lutz.
Kimmel back in the lineup as well. That's another good sign. Kimmel and Potter both out there. No Waxter yet.
Yes, circled Kimmel as a player to keep an eye on if he did come back in. As we said, he's back in there to start the second half. 3rd down and short as Lutz didn't quite get to the first down marker. We'll see if we see Yarns here. They do go right back to Yarns. He's got a lane and a little bit extra down to the 41.
Yeah, there you go. There's a nice run up the middle. He's been good on those short yardage. He's kind of gotten through the first line of defense, and then he's tough to get down. That lower body strength makes it tough on safeties. Mims with a good tackle there.
Yarns has just continued to impress. He had just 1 start in 2021, 1 start in 2022. Last year was really his breakout season, and this year he has put the cherry on top of. It's been a tremendous 5-year career with this Blue Hens program. Bermudez in motion. Play action, and Minicucci will go back to the air. He will find that player all along the right side for another first down. That's Jonathan Silver.
Kind of the backup running back, giving Yarns a break.
Joe Nathan Silver, the junior, catches the pass. 8th different receiver for Delaware.
And the Wildcats got to find a way to get Delaware a little bit behind the sticks here. One of their linemen takes a knee on this play, so injury timeout. Looks like Anawu down. He's up now and walking off.
Yeah, that is Bradley Onyewu, the graduate student from Dover, Delaware. That will turn it into a media timeout, so we'll step aside. 10-12 to go in the 3rd quarter. Delaware driving after Villanova scores the opening touchdown of the 3rd on the Villanova Sports Network. Back here at Villanova Stadium as we continue to set the scene on what is the 58th all-time meeting between Villanova and Delaware. Villanova leads the all-time series 34-22-1. You know a series dates back quite some time when you get the one tie in there. 1895, the first time that these two teams met, and they have produced some great ones over the year. And this one is shaping up to be one of the better ones in the history of this great storied rivalry. The final scheduled meeting between these two teams has lived up to the billing. Villanova's 28-21 lead, but Delaware driving 1st and 10 on the Nova 30-yard line. Nick Minicucci goes back to work, again through the air, again feeling the heat, and again throwing it out before getting brought down by the Villanova front. And it'll be a gain of about 5. That's a really good job of Minicucci. Again, he's just been able to take what Villanova's given him.
And Daoud with a really good tackle, because if he loses the receiver there, and he's going to walk it into the end zone, no one's behind him.
So 2nd down and 5. Minicucci in those kinds of spots hasn't tried to do too much. He'll take the 4 or 5 positive yards over trying to make something happen, and something calamitous happening for the Blue Hens. So in schedule and in system, and now Minicucci going to the end zone. Bermudez, it's intercepted. It deflected off of Bermudez's fingers and fell right into the hands of Tyrell Mims.
What a play and what a break for Villanova. Bermudez trained back to try to get to it, hit his hands, and I think it hit his foot. It bounced up in the air, and Mims caught it.
The ruling on the field is an interception, 1st down Villanova.
A huge turn of events and a huge turnover for Villanova here early on in the 3rd.
Villanova blitzed on that play, had one-on-one coverage, Mims out wide. Let's take a look at this. It's a little bit underthrown. It hits the foot. Does that hit the turf?
The ruling of the interception is under further review.
Oh, that is going to be awfully close.
Yeah,
that's a great shot.
Does it hit the turf or his leg? That's going to be the question.
Oh, Mark Ferrante trying to keep his team in gear. As it stands, it's a huge interception for Tyrell Mims, his 2nd of the season, right on the goal line. Yeah. One of those underthrown balls.
The thing that scares me is the way that ball bounced up. I'm afraid it might have hit the turf. I didn't see it hit the turf, but we'll see. If it hit someone's leg, I don't know if it bounced straight up like that.
Bermudez had to come back for the ball.
Let's see if we can get a look at it. Not from that angle, we can't. Oh, is Mims going to be out of bounds?
That's another question as well. Was Mims' feet out of bounds? This will be a good angle to take a look at. So there's a couple elements of it. One, does the ball hit the turf? Don't know about that, but is the right heel of Mims out of bounds when he catches it?
It might be up in the air.
That would make it an incomplete pass.
So there's a couple things that might go against Villanova here. The ball hitting the turf, and Mims' feet might be out of bounds. So let's see.
Yeah, Villanova needs to go 2 for 2 in those kind of two elements.
You just said you'd have to be able to freeze it when he possesses the ball where his foot is. His foot at one point was out of bounds, but now it's up in the air. Is it up in the air when he
see if we can slow it down?
Possesses the ball.
Right. That is going to be close.
I think he might have had it, and then his left foot went out. We don't know. Well, is there enough to overturn it? Because it was called an interception on the field.
This could be a good angle for that as well.
Foot's out there. Now they're up in the air. So he's got it now. And is that
right toe? Oh my goodness, that is close. And the left heel as well. Yeah. When does he possess the ball too? Yeah. Now we get into the question of what exactly constitutes
it looks like
catch.
It's coming back.
Well, referee's going to shine some light
Ryan
on
Carty
this.
out in the middle of the field, and the officials are walking him back to the sideline.
Well, right now we're just trying to guess.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to put the ball back at the 25, so they're going to say no interception.
Here's the official ruling.
Let's see what the official says.
After review, the defender's right foot was out of bounds when he gained control of the ball. It's an incomplete pass. It's 3rd down.
Yeah, that's probably the right call from the looks we were able to get.
So a huge call in this game, because obviously the Wildcats would have took over. Now it's only 3rd and 5, and Delaware is still in offensive possession here.
I think Mims was more surprised to see the ball up in the air than anything else. Wasn't really conscientious as to where his feet were in terms of inbounds or out of bounds.
So they'll look back a game of inches, as they say.
Second life for Delaware. 3rd down and 5. Yarns gets the call. Nowhere to go as he's bottled up.
I think
no gain.
I think I'm taking 3 points here.
Well, it's not a sure 3 by any stretch for Delaware. It would be about a 44-yard field goal, which would be a new season long for Nate Reed, and it's into the wind as well.
So it looks like they'll go for it. I just like to get this thing down to 4, because if you don't score here and then Villanova scores, you're back down 2 scores.
Delaware already missed a 42-yard field goal, and so if you add 5 yards for the win.
It's the exact same kick. It's on the same hash as well. So maybe Ryan Carty's seen enough from that spot on the field.
Minicucci facing some pressure, gets out of it, it's knocked down! Ty Trin says no, and Villanova takes it back.
And credit Ross Pennypacker, he dialed up the blitz, and Shane Hartzell got right in the face of Minicucci and made a play. Ryan Carty back out on the field. He already has one unsportsmanlike conduct today. He's darn close to getting thrown out of the game. You know, even if he catches that, he's going to be short of the yard to gain. It was at the 22nd yard line. I think that's good timing by Trin. You know, he's there right when the ball comes. It could go either way, and that call, I like that non-call on 4th down.
That's what you'd imagine is what Carty's upset about, whether or not Trin got there
Yeah, that's
early.
all he could be mad about, really, because, like I said, if he catches that and gets tackled, it doesn't do him any good either. He wants the 15-yard penalty.
Nick Minicucci under some pressure, unable to convert on 4th down, and Villanova takes over on their own 25.
An opportunity here for Villanova to try to get it back a 2-score lead with some points.
Looking to mount another drive as Watkins on the option pitches it out to Mace. Gets about 4 or 5 or so.
Yeah, a lot going on there for a 5-yard gain. The fake to Abbott. He looks like a QB read for Watkins. They get him to converge. He flips it out to Mace, who picks up 5 yards on 1st down.
Seen a little bit more of that eye candy pre-snap today for Villanova. A lot of motion.
That's a heck
Watkins
of a toss.
took a lick, yeah. That's a dangerous toss as well for Watkins. In the area of the field.
If you don't, if that's not completed, you're like, oh my goodness, but a nice play by Watkins and Mace.
One of those no, yes, yeses if you're on Villanova sidelines. The 2nd down and medium for Watkins to operate with. Call his own number. Now we'll throw it over the middle. Kopecki's got it past midfield.
Yeah, they've done a good job there. They got to respect the quarterback run from Watkins. He's beating you with a long touchdown run. He sucks the safety up. Kopecki runs a post route, and they hit him right in the hands for a 1st down.
It's kind of lulling the Delaware secondary to sleep a little bit, and threw it right past James Yelbert Jr., who is tracking back to cover. So Villanova on the plus side of midfield. We are past the midway point of this 3rd quarter of play. 2nd quarter has been Delaware's best quarter. 3rd quarter offensively has been one of Villanova's bests. Again, more eye candy, and again, it's Watkins who's going down the field and will just throw it out of play. A lot of misdirection for Villanova in this contest.
And safety didn't bite. The corner had good coverage. It's a good decision. Throw it away. Live to play 2nd and 10. No need to throw the ball into double coverage there.
Sanchez was on an island over there with a couple of blue hens, and Watkins recognized there wasn't much to be gained from that. As you said, we'll just take 2nd down and 10. .178 yards now through the air for Watkins. He's only at 50%, which is just a tick under his season completion rate. He only completes about 52% of his passes, but a couple of big ones for Watkins today, including the 27-yard link up with Sanchez and the 36-yard touchdown pass to Miles. He's looking long again.
No, he's holding there. There's got to be a flag. You can see him grabbing his jersey.
That's Lyde.
And there's no call.
Who was in on
Villanova
coverage.
bench is erupting.
And the Villanova defense, the Villanova crowd rather, can't believe it.
Yeah, he had a full grab of his jersey and there was no call. That's a huge call because that puts Villanova in field goal range. He just had to grab of Kopecki's jersey. You could see it live very easily. We had a good angle and a good view on that.
Yeah, it was probably holding, not pass interference, because it happened before Watkins threw it.
But now it's 3rd and 10, so a big no call there.
And the Delaware defense capitalize on perhaps a bit of a break. More pressure comes over the middle into a tight window for Sanchez. He couldn't hold on.
That was a really good throw, just into a nice, Ben mentioned, a tight window, and Sanchez unable to haul it in. The Wildcats are forced to punt. See if they can pin him deep here.
So Delaware does get off the field.
Really helps the Blue Hens. Sanchez got both hands on it. Would have been a really nice grab, but one he might have been able to make.
Nate Evans was back there defensively to make sure there wasn't too much of an area for Watkins to throw at. And so all the way back, standing at his own 5-yard line or so, is Jake Thaw. Former Michigan Wolverine, who averages about 13 yards per run back on the punt attempts.
I think the Wildcats are going to take the delay of game.
Yeah, the clock was not running off of the incompletion, so this is not a clock maneuver. This is trying to give Getman a little bit more.
Looks like Delaware will decline the penalty.
Yeah.
Delay of game. Kicking team. Penalties declined. It's 4th down.
We'll get a bit of gamesmanship as Ethan Getman tries to get a little bit more breathing room.
Yeah, this one I would kick the ball towards the sideline. Maybe just try to get it to roll out of bounds and hopefully inside the 15.
Delaware trying to get the ball back in decent field position. Villanova trying to pin the Blue Hens as far back as possible.
It looks like it might sail into the end zone.
It is going to take a bounce at the 2 or 3 and then get into the end zone.
Those 5 yards would have come in handy right there.
Good call, Steve. But Villanova with a 7-point lead will go back to work on the defensive side of things. Nick Minicucci and Delaware back to work offensively. When we come back, Blue Hens down a score on the main line.
At Mainline Health, we make sure that heart care is heartfelt. From murmurs to heart valve disease, we listen, we treat, we innovate. It's where your health is held alongside your humanity, where cutting-edge clinical trials meet compassion, with expertise ranging from preventive to pioneering. Because human care listens to your heartbeat and who it beats for. So if the rhythm of life changes, turn to the place where world-class isn't just nearby. It's where human care has a home.
When planning your next step, Villanova University's College of Professional Studies meets you where you are. Whether your journey leads to a long-awaited degree, enables you to change careers, or accelerates your current one, we have rigorous online and on-campus programs designed to align your experience with your aspirations. When everything you've been ignites everything you'll be, transformation has no age limit. Pursue the next you.
Back for the 58th all-time meeting between Villanova and Delaware. So many great players throughout the history of this rivalry, including former Villanova captain Malik Fisher. He's back in the building and downstairs with Tessa.
Thanks, Ben. Malik, this game is so historic for this program. What did this game mean to you when you were here?
When I was here, this game meant so much because no matter how the seasons went, I've had losing seasons while I was at Nova. I had conference championship winning seasons. And no matter how the season went, at the end of the season when we lined up and got ready for Delaware game, none of that mattered. The records went out the way. And something felt personal every year on how you wanted to end the regular season for the playoff years. And even if we weren't going to the playoffs, how did you want to go into the offseason? So just coming out here is usually always personal when we play Delaware.
Do you have a favorite memory from this game?
Yes, definitely. We were out in Dover, Delaware. We won our first conference championship in about 10 years. It was my first conference championship while I was here in 2021. 4th down stop or goal line stop at the end of the game. I think that's one of my favorite memories of football ever.
Well, thank you, Malik, for taking the time, guys.
Awesome stuff, Tessa. There have been so many great moments between these two programs, and this game shaping up for another instant classic.
Yeah, it was Garrett Zobel had that goal line stand down in Newark, and it was a great job that the Wildcats held on to win that game, I think 13-6.
Villanova's won 3 in a row for these two programs that have played every year since 1986. There have been stops and starts. There's been a lot of ups and downs throughout the history of this rivalry. And one more meeting on the books, and these two teams making the most of it as Minicucci gets tossed out of bounds by Trin.
Yeah, sure. Good job by Trin coming up from his safety position. Short gain on 1st down.
We talk about, for Villanova, obviously the desire to not only beat their rivals, but make sure they solidify a spot in the postseason. But whoever wins this game is going to have the last word for quite some time. There is additional bragging rights at stake, as there always is when these two teams meet.
Wildcats love to get behind and get something here. 2nd and 8, just a negative play. We just get Delaware behind the sticks. They've been able to kind of keep down and distance in check here.
Minicucci will throw for it again. He's got his man over the middle. Lutz makes a move and another into Villanova territory, and he hangs on to the ball as Villanova was trying to rip it free. That was Dawood who finally brought him down in Villanova territory.
Yeah, we have not seen Ice Waxter back in the game. And they go at the freshman. A good job by Lutz.
Lutz, the graduate student, against the underclassman Dawood. And nice play after the catch as well. We haven't talked about it too much, but Delaware has been so good in that kind of position after the catch. 44% coming into play today of Delaware's receiving yards have been after the catch.
Yeah, if you can get separation on those crossing routes, you can make something of it.
And Yarns barrels forward for a couple more, and that number, 44%, is only going to grow today, especially with that big Yarns catch and run on the wheel route. That was right the dying moments of the first half as Delaware tied it back up at 21. They're looking to tie it back up again, driving down the field after they got the stop near midfield for Villanova. Drive that started back on their own 25. Designed rollout to the right for Minicucci, and instead of throwing it out of bounds, he'll take a couple of yards. And lowered the shoulder and has some extra words.
Yeah, Daoud lowered the boom on him. He's got to get out of bounds a little bit quicker.
Shane Hartzell was there too, along with Daoud.
Tamir Daoud said, okay, you might have beat me on a pass play, but I'm here now. I'm going to a little run support at you.
That's not the first time Minicucci's done that, though. Instead of throwing it out of bounds, taking a couple. And so instead of 3rd down and 8, it's 3rd and 6.
Yeah, he's a big, strong young man at 6'2", 215. He probably looks a little heavier than that. I wouldn't be surprised if he's 225. And then you see Daoud with a good shoulder. Big 3rd down here.
Probably 4-down territory for Delaware in this kind of spot. 4 for 11 on 3rd down. Shovel pass inside. Yarns is going to be really close. Where will they spot him?
Looks like a half a foot short, maybe.
On 3rd down, this is a critical spot. And they'll move the chains for a 1st down.
Wow, I didn't like that. That's very, I can't believe they already, without a measurement. He looked down short. Very surprised there.
Big time continuing of the churning of the legs from Marcus
Yarns. He was contacted a good 2 or 3 yards before.
That lower body strength continuing to impress for the Delaware running back, and he's got the call again, right back into the mixer for 3 or 4.
Yeah, he's going to be the workhorse here in this second half.
So many of those times already today, Yarns, we've seen turn what should be 1 or 2 yard rushes into 3 or 4. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it just really sets things up for you on schedule on offense.
Yeah, he'll get a play off here as they'll bring Silver back in.
The difference between 2nd and 9 and 2nd and 7 for an offensive coordinator and Terrence Archer is really palpable. A couple of receivers bunched out to the bottom of your screen, including Lutz. In motion goes Kelly, who's taken a couple of big hits today. Minicucci rolling out to his right again. He's got Lutz in towards the end zone. It's incomplete.
Yeah, it's going to be broken up. Sapp had coverage, but somebody did a good job. Ethan Potter coming off his man, got back in the play and was able to break that up because it looked like Sapp might have been beat by a step, and Potter came in and bailed him out.
3rd down and 7 from the 29 into the wind. Again, will likely be 4-down territory here for the Blue Hens.
Potter 34 just coming back in there to make a play.
So where does Nick Minicucci and the Blue Hens go from here?
Yeah, this is certainly 4-down territory. Don't be surprised if Delaware runs the ball here. Now, Yarns is out. I think Silver is still in.
Yeah, that is Joe Nathan Silver back behind Minicucci. And they'll go to Silver. Right up the gut. He's got a lane. He's got a 1st down and more, cutting inside the 10 all the way down towards the 5.
Yeah,
Joe Nathan Silver with one of his biggest rushes of the year.
Some of the linebackers overran that. He cut it back and was able to get down and make it 1st and goal. I thought they'd run the ball there because it's going to be 4-down territory. 2 run plays, you feel confident.
A scamper of 23 for Silver. Worth its weight in gold and a 1st down and goal. Blue Hens can tie it up again. Minicucci to the air again. Silver again. Towards the end zone. Touchdown. And Delaware again is an extra point away. Joe Nathan Silver, his 5th score of the year.
Yeah, just gonna put him out in the flat. Nobody's out there. By the time they contact him, he's well into the end zone. Just another broken coverage there. It's probably a linebacker that didn't get out with him. And good read by Minicucci to find him out in the flat and walk it into the end zone.
Extra points have been solid today, but have not been automatic, as we've said for Delaware. To make it 4 for 4. No problem. And a flag flies afterwards. Reed might have taken a tumble.
Well, if that's roughing the kicker, you can take the option of putting the ball down the 1 yard line and maybe go for 2 if you'd like. It looks like they're going to take the point, though. And they can take it on the kickoff, the yardage.
Field position has been critical today as Delaware converts a 10-play, 80-yard touchdown drive that took 5 minutes and 4 seconds off the clock. The officials continuing to try to work out the penalty and exactly where to put the football.
Well, they have the opportunity. If they want to move it up to 1.5, they could do that and go for 2 if they'd like.
Second touchdown pass of the year for Nick Minicucci.
Running into the kicker. Receiving team. Penalties declined. Point after is good.
So it's a running into, not roughing the kicker. So that flag will not matter. But what will matter is a big 6-yard touchdown catch and run for Joe Nathan Silver.
Yeah, it's probably Kimmel who has to get out there, and he's just not going to be able to get out there. Good, he bit on the run fake, and that got him up, and then the angle he would have had to take, not able to get there as Silver gets into the end zone to tie it up.
Field position has been relatively even when you look at the wide lens big picture. Villanova's average starting position their own 29-yard line. Delaware's average start their own 33. But a couple of short fields for both teams they've taken full advantage of after turnovers and after that squib kick that all went wrong for Villanova.
And if this game does come down to the kicking game late, Delaware will have the wind in the 4th quarter.
And it is not a light autumn breeze either. It is gusts of over 20 miles per hour. So how do the Wildcats respond? They went up 21-0 out midway point of the 2nd quarter. Then Delaware scored 3 straight. Villanova with a 38-yard rush from Connor Watkins, and Delaware responded again.
And the wind has shifted a little bit. It's blowing more north to south. It was east to west before, excuse me, west to east before. But still kicking into the wind here.
They'll launch it all the way down to about the 6 or 7 yard line. Mace picks it up there and starts his run back. Gets contacted about the 20 and fights forward to the 22 or 23. And again, a little extra after the play.
The Wildcats here with 1:38 to go in the 3rd quarter in a tie ball game.
There's a little bit of discussions between a couple of Delaware players and 1 or 2 Villanova players, but it looks as though everyone will retreat to their corners. And Villanova's offense will go back to work from their own 22-yard line. It is the worst starting field position of the day for Villanova, speaking of field position, but only by a couple of yards or so. But what can Connor Watkins engineer here? 10 for 12 for 178 yards, a touchdown, and that critical late in the 1st half interception. Watkins will go short for Kopecky, picks up a couple of yards before he is surrounded by Blue Hens.
Yeah, they're going to give him close to 5, so a good pickup on 1st down.
Kopecky now has 3 catches, over 35 yards on the day, including that 24-yard link-up. Connor Watkins getting the ball out of his hand quickly, which, given how he struggled with the Delaware pressure, is not a bad sign for Chris Bowden in this Villanova offense. That might be by design. Heading down towards the final minute of the 3rd quarter. Again, here comes pressure. A sidearm pass from Watkins is incomplete.
Yeah, that was well read by the defensive backs of Delaware.
Manny Rojas.
Yeah, it was Nate Evans came up and made a nice play there.
Manny Rojas, the defensive coordinator, found a lot of success.
They had a free blitzer coming from that side right in the face of Watkins. Now a big 3rd down here.
Blue Hens faithful on the far side, back to their feet.
That play wouldn't have picked up much, even if it was completed. So a big 3rd down here for the Villanova offense. Try to keep the drive alive here.
Villanova 3 for 6 on 3rd downs today, right at 50%. Out towards Abbott, who has a lot to do after the catch. He won't get there.
Yeah, he tried to break back in and unfortunately was unable to get his feet underneath him.
Myson Pollard, the JUCO transfer from Monroe up in New York, was the one to bring him down. And Delaware will get the ball back with a chance to lead for the first time today.
Yeah, if he can make the first guy miss, there's actually 2 guys out there. It's going to be tough for him, tough sledding, but they wanted to get the ball out quick against the blitz. And now here's where Ethan Gedman needs to get off a good one.
Again, 2 punt returners back, Lewis and Thaw. Gedman's punt is a spiral. Sends Thaw all the way back to the 20, and he'll pick it up there. Thaw ran into his own man. He'll get to the 25, but not much more. Flag from way behind the play. There's coming together between Sanchez and a Delaware player, Keyshawn Hunter, I believe that is.
This is going to be a big call, because 15 yards in either direction is going to be a big difference.
Well, that might be Jakari Kelly, actually. There's 2 number 9s for Delaware.
Let's see who this is against. Kelly ended up being on top of Sanchez, but I did not see what initially happened there.
Yeah, I was looking at the ball as well. It was a good 15 or so yards away.
Holding, receiving team, number 9. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run, first down.
So that'll back things back up for the Blue Heads.
So credit Ethan Gedman with a good, strong punt there to kind of back these guys up. That'll put them inside the 15. Actually, or probably about at the 16.
You can see away from the ball.
Right there, the 9 just grabs Sanchez and throws him to the ground. That's a good call.
That's a 2-point takedown is what that is.
That'll force him back at the 16. Now, Villanova defense got to get a stop here.
Final play or 2 of the third quarter.
So even if they do get a 3 and out, it would be Delaware would be punting with the win. But the Wildcats just want the ball back.
What is now the worst starting field position for Delaware of the afternoon. Yarns gets the carry. Yarns hits a hole and into the second level towards the first down marker. Be about 2 yards short, and that'll be the final play of the third quarter. Boy, oh boy, what a ball game we have here at Villanova Stadium. Final 15 minutes of regulation, and it is game on in the Battle of the Blue. Final 15 on the clock when we return on the Villanova Sports Network. Final 15 minutes of regulation on what has been a blustery, windy, sunny, offense-filled day here at Villanova Stadium. Look at some of the numbers. Rushing yards have really tilted Delaware's way, especially in the second half. And now Delaware back to work offensively. 2nd and 2 on their own 24. It's a pitch out towards the left side where Marcus Yarns has found a lot of success all day long. Yarns is now close to 100 yards on the ground. He was 90 before that last carry that got another Delaware first down. Gain of about 7.
Yeah, take it out to about the 34. Wildcats now down 2 guys in the secondary. Jalen Goodman was ejected for targeting the first time, and I have not seen a return of Ice Waxter.
And they give him a full 10, so that does put Yarns up to 100 yards on the ground today. 20 rushes for 100 and a touchdown for Yarns, plus 71 yards through the air and a touchdown, including that 65-yard catch and run. Minicucci back to the air under some duress, looking for Lutz, and nothing doing that time, and coming up hobbling is Dawood.
Yeah, that's their third corner already. Might have had a cramp there. Looked like he cramped up or, God forbid, pulled a muscle.
And he is slow to get up back behind the plate. He might have had a handful of Lutz's jersey as well.
Timeout for an injured player.
At least they're being consistent back there.
What was on pretty much the exact same part of the field.
In the same route, too.
As the other
and it looks like
side. That was Sanchez, wasn't it?
This is good to see because it looks like they're addressing a cramp situation instead of a pulled muscle.
Was that Sanchez who had the shout for the holding back in the third quarter?
I think it was Kopecky.
It was, yeah. And as you said, pretty much the exact same spot on the field. And so it all evens out in the wash eventually. But right now the question is whether or not Dawood
the
will be good to go.
Wildcats were unable to maintain the drive. Let's see if Delaware can.
And that allowed the Blue Hens to come right back down the field and score that 6-yard catch and run from Silver.
And for our audience who don't watch a lot of college football, it's just a 15-yard penalty pass interference in college. It's not a spot foul like the NFL. So would have been 15 yards from the...
One of those I wouldn't mind changing.
See, I actually want the NFL to go to 15 yards. I just think it's too punitive to, the pass interference penalty. But
I wouldn't be opposed either to kind of a two-tiered pass interference system because, if there's a 40-yard launch and you're not even playing the ball, you're just tackling the guy, it's in your best interest to just tackle him if you know you're not going to get to the ball.
You give up the 15-yard play instead of the 30 or 40-yard play, certainly.
But regardless, under the current rules in 2024, it's 2nd down and 10 for Delaware on their own 34-yard line. Minicucci 16 of 26, that's 62%.
Newton Essium's in at the other corner now.
Junior from Snellville, Georgia, only has 6 tackles this year. Forced into a big spot. Pressure comes on Minicucci. He gets out of it initially, gets back to around the original line of scrimmage, maybe a yard behind it.
And Nigel McSween with the tackle, so it looks like it'll be probably a yard. Give him a sack, I guess. He lost about a yard, so it's 3rd and 11 here. The Villanova defense needs to make a play.
4.5 sacks now for McSween. What is just the 2nd sack of the day for Villanova. Delaware doesn't have any. Hurry up, go the Blue Hens. More pressure comes. It's picked up at least initially, and now Minicucci is able to stay with it and then throws it away. Is that going to be intentional grounding?
Should be intentional grounding. There's nobody in the area. So that'll be a spot foul and 4th down. So the Wildcat defense does its job.
As good as a sack for Villanova.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 4. It's a loss of down at the spot of the foul. It's 4th down.
There was nobody there. It was past the line of scrimmage, but Minicucci wasn't outside the tackle box.
And there was nobody in the area. There's good pressure here. Kimmel has him as he's going down. Nice, really wouldn't have mattered. Been 3rd and 11 or 4th and whatever it is now, 20-something.
But will allow Villanova the chance to creep a little bit further up the field, perhaps.
Let's see if Maddox can do something in the punt return game.
Maddox currently is standing at around his own 25-yard line. Josh Cuppett looking to flip the field here. It's an end-over-end, relatively short punt.
Got to get away from it now.
At around the 40. Little Delaware roll down to about the 30.
It's a really good roll.
Delaware trying to perform a little telekinesis to move it a little bit further back.
So that would look like a bad punt off his foot. Got probably a good 10-yard roll to make it a pretty good punt.
So Villanova back to work again. Delaware has not led today. Villanova is led by as much as 21 when it was 21-0. They led 28-21 as well. And now looking to jump out to another lead and really solidify their spot in the FCS playoffs. As we said at the top of the broadcast, a loss doesn't knock them out, but will make things a little bit more restless before selection show. What time tomorrow, Steve?
12:30.
12:30 Eastern. Handoff on 1st down. That's Isaiah Ragland. Haven't called his name a ton today. That's just his 2nd rush of the afternoon.
Yeah, get about 5 yards on 1st down, so that'll bring up 2nd and 5. The Wildcats would love to be able to just get the ground game going here, churn a couple 1st downs away here with 13-15 to go in the game.
.96 rushing yards are now actually over 100 rushing yards on the day for Villanova as a team. Looking for more is Ragland on the right side. Has a couple of blockers, has a 1st down.
Nice job there by the offensive line. Cregan out in front did a nice job. That was McCullers as well, so they're able to get the first down. Good job by Weldy to the tight end, kind of winning the edge there.
This Villanova offense has scored 31 or more points in back-to-back games. 31-3 win against North Carolina A&T. You watched here on the Villanova Sports Network. And that 40-33 loss last week up in New Jersey against Monmouth. That time going absolutely nowhere was Villanova offensively. Ethan Saunders was there for the tackle, the graduate student from Pennsylvania.
No gain on that play to bring up second down and 10.
And Ragland a little bit gingerly back towards the sideline.
And they'll come with Jabril Mace. Primarily their pass catcher out of the backfield. We've seen a couple shovel passes to him and some short throws.
Keep an eye on Ragland over there on the sideline. He looks to be okay. Villanova can ill afford to lose anyone in their running back core at this stage. In the fourth quarter, final 12 minutes of regulation. Watkins takes his own number and loses a yard.
Yeah, he got hit in the backfield. Somebody made a nice play.
That was Saunders again.
Yeah, he did a nice job getting into the backfield and disrupting the play, Ethan Saunders. So now it's 3rd and long here, what the Wildcats want to stay out of.
Waynesboro, Pennsylvania native, right there too is Dominic Brogna, the junior. So 3rd down and 11. Big play here on Villanova's own 41-yard line.
Let's see if they come with the blitz again or play coverage here.
Andy Rojas, the defensive coordinator for Delaware.
I haven't called Devin Smith's name much. Let's see if they look for him here.
What does Rojas dial up? Flag flies pre-snap.
That's going to cost Villanova 5 more yards.
False start. Offense, number 69. 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
That's Picard.
Yeah, Jake Picard, the center. So I don't know if he moved the football or what happened there.
It's the antithesis of my favorite call in football, the false start on everyone but the center.
So now if that changes Chris Bowden's playbook here, do you just try to maybe run a screen or a draw and just trust your defense here on 3rd and 16?
They need Delaware's 48. Watkins to the air as time to throw has Sanchez, who couldn't hang on. He would have been short anyways.
Yeah, he's had the ball in his hands twice today, unable to pull it in, but as Ben mentioned, it would have been 4th and about 4 from their side of the field. But the field position would have helped with this win.
So Delaware is able to get back off the field, and they will get the ball back.
You should get decent field position here. I would say, certainly past the 30-yard line. High snap.
Getman's able to deal with it. End over end punt. Everybody trying to make sure they don't touch it. And Villanova will down it right at the 40-yard line. So solid field position for Villanova. Getman today averaging about 44 yards punting. Back to work yet again. Nick Minicucci and this Delaware offense with an opportunity to lead for the first time all afternoon, and they've got really good field position to start out.
Yeah, the field is now flipped in Delaware's favor. Wildcats defense may need to come up with a turnover here at some point to kind of flip this field position.
Conference's leading defense in points per game has been tested all afternoon by this high-flying Delaware offense that just put 41 up against Campbell last week. Thaw. It's a double pass for Thaw, looking down the middle. It's intercepted. Caleb Moody read it all the way and took it away.
I think it's going to be Ty Trin, number 9.
It is 9, not 8 for Villanova. But regardless, the Wildcats with a big turnover.
I talked about the Wildcats needing a turnover, and then they get one. Delaware got a little greedy there, trying to go to the bag of tricks. I don't think that's the play right there. And Wildcats now get the ball at their own 45-yard line.
Thaw already was 1 for 1 in the passing game today, but not that time as Villanova read it all the way, and Ty Trin with his 2nd interception of the year.
He's Trin right there playing center field and just reads this well. Good job. Good break on the football.
Yeah, good call on that, Steve. That was 9, not 8.
And the only thing I didn't like in that picture in the celebration, I saw Isis Waxter was his arm is in a sling, so he's certainly done for the game.
That is a big hit for Villanova. And now Villanova's offense back to work. Watkins gets dragged down after about 2.
Yeah, I thought that was going to open up. They had a run blitz, so the linebacker hole was there. Trainer blitzed hard. They got him blocked, but his teammates rallied to help him.
Gain of about 2 for Watkins, who so far today is Villanova's leading rusher.
We haven't seen Abbott in the last couple series either. It's been Ragland and Mace.
Good to see Ragland back out there. But yeah, number 24 has not been involved too much for Villanova the last couple series. Watkins back to the air again, flushed down to the pocket, to the left, throwing on the run. He's got his man. That's Smith staying on his feet and inside the 35. And the flag afterwards, that'll be a late hit against Delaware.
That'll probably tack on 15 more.
And with under 10 minutes to go, Villanova going to get themselves in field goal range.
Let's see what the call is confirming.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 14, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Let's see it come in there. Yeah, that's a really good call. He got all 15 yards worth there as he grabbed the full face and jolted the head back.
That's KT Say.
The Wildcats now inside the 20 here.
What an opportunity this is.
Try to take advantage of the turnover.
2 interceptions for this Villanova defense today. The first was run all the way back by Brendan Bell for a pick 6 in the first half. Trying to make it 14 points off of the interceptions over the course of this tremendous ball game between 2 really good football teams. Ragland gets the call. He's inside the 15. And he is met with a couple of Delaware Blue Hens. Right there was Gavin Moll, sophomore leading tackler for Delaware.
So that'll pick up about 3 or give him 4 on, make it 3 on first down. So 2nd and 7.
4th tackle of the day.
I see Abbott on the sideline, and he doesn't have his helmet on, so I don't know if he's what's going on with him as well. He's over by the trainer, maybe trying to talk his way back into this game.
If we can get any more information on what's going on down there with the freshman Abbott. But on the field, opportunity for Watkins, who's looking to the right. He's looking for Kopecky. He's looking to high point the ball, and it falls to the ground.
That's a good athletic play by Kopecky. He almost was able to come down. That's tough looking back into the sun as well.
And then Hassan Manning Jr. almost took it back away. He was just in the spot where the ball happened to fall, and the ball just fell right next to him.
Kopecky actually got his hands on that as he's falling backwards. Would have been a great catch. But now it's 3rd and 8.
Manning knew he might have had an opportunity to take that back the other way. Big 3rd down here in the Villanova red zone. Pressure comes from Delaware. Watkins gets rid of it towards the end zone. Incomplete, no flags.
It looked like he was getting tugged trying to get out of his break. There's a flag down here by the line of scrimmage.
Oh, all the way back on the 25.
Yeah, usually it's in the area of offensive holding. So now if you're Delaware, do you take this and try to move him out of field goal range?
It's back into the wind. Right now, as it stands, it would be about a 32-yard field goal. So that would back it up if Villanova were not gained on
offense,
42
number
yards.
78. Penalties declined. It's 4th down.
That's an interesting spot. Ethan Getman's season long is 42 yards.
Yeah, you got to kick the field goal here. I don't think there's any other choice. Obviously, it's a windy day. It's not going to be an easy kick. But
it's an interesting decision for Carty, not at all for Ferranti.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take that penalty because I don't trust the Villanova kicker from that distance if I'm Carty.
Into the wind. Instead, it'll be a 31-yarder. Ethan Getman is 8 for 14 on field goals this year to give Villanova the lead back. It is up. It is on its way. It is good.
Yeah, I think you got to take the penalty there. I don't want to be, say it kind of second guessing, but I did say it before. I don't think you can give him a 31-yard kick there.
The wind knocked it down right after it went through, and Villanova has a 31-28 lead. Delaware looking to respond, getting late here on the main line on the Villanova Sports Network. with 8:41 to go in the fourth quarter. A war of attrition here between Villanova and Delaware. Some injury concerns for the Wildcats. For more on that, we send it back downstairs to Tessa.
Yeah, guys, some injuries down here. Steve, like you mentioned before, Ice Waxer down here with his pads off in a sling. Quarterback Connor Watkins just walked into the blue tent, and running back David Abbott was in the blue tent. He came back out. He's walking around. No confirmation whether he's going in or not, guys.
Great stuff, Tessa. A lot to keep an eye on along that sideline for Villanova as they try to see this one out.
And I just saw Watkins come out of the tent. He looks like he's ready to go.
Fair catch called for by the Blue Hens. They'll take over on the 25-yard line. They need to get the ball back at least into field goal range, which means getting it down to around the 20 to 25-yard line or so.
Yeah, I think from a distance standpoint, you could probably even go to the 30 today with the wind helping them. But from an accuracy standpoint, I would agree with that.
So work to do for Delaware. This offense that is 15th in the nation in points per game needs some more points. After Villanova got off to a great start, Delaware has been playing catch-up just about all the way. They've tied it up twice and have an opportunity to take the lead if they can drive this one in. Minicucci having to track all the way back, got rid of it. Lutz was in the area, so no grounding, but again, the pressure for Villanova.
That's a good decision by Minicucci. Was able to get enough on it to get it out of bounds, to get it out of harm's way over the head of Lutz.
Strong throw off of his back foot with a couple of cats in his face.
Yeah, he would end up taking about a 10-yard loss there if he was sacked.
Villanova front pressure has really started to dial it up. 3 sacks now for the Wildcats.
Yeah, they send 5 here and they're able to get through. It looks like Hartzell's the one that gets in there and gets on Minicucci.
4 sacks for Hartzell to lead the team. Play clock down to 6.
They drop Yarns back in the pistol.
Blue Hens have to hurry. Play clock down to 2. Can ill afford to waste a timeout here. They do just get it off the ball. Bobbles up in the air. Who's got it? Think it's Villanova. A huge takeaway in the fourth.
That's Ethan Potter, the safety that's on top of the football, and the Wildcats get themselves a short field. The 3rd turnover today for the Blue Hens. Just a mishandled snap. Minicucci had it and just bobbled it and hit the ground, and Potter was able to come up with it.
Delaware was tiptoeing the high wire of that play clock winding all the way down. And in the end, Minicucci never really looked like he had it settled.
Yeah, Minicucci didn't like what he saw, and it was kind of taking it all the way down to 0. And then when the snap came, just didn't have his hands on it. He got his hands on it, excuse me. Look, it just didn't look it in. Then he lost it, and there's Potter with a great dive and coming up with it.
Potter was the only one who read the ball all the way.
Yeah, the Wildcats got to put this one in the end zone. Give yourself a 10-point lead. Field goal only puts you up 6.
And would keep it within 1 score. Watkins, handoff, left side, moving and shaking is Ragland inside the 10. Ragland is pushed out of bounds.
And the Wildcats going to have themselves 1st and goal from the 6. So a really good job by Isaiah Ragland there to break a tackle and get out wide.
Ragland's gotten a steady dose of these handoffs.
And here comes David Abbott, so that's a good sign to see. Now they're going to come back. He was running on the field, so that's a good sign, but they're going to stick with Ragland.
Ragland now has gotten more rushes than any other Villanova running back.
So 1st and goal from the 6. I see Brendan Bell in the game as well. Some of the bigger players that are going to go with that kind of jumbo package.
A linebacker who had a pick 6 earlier today.
Yeah, Jason Hall in as well, number 40. He's at an H-back spot.
That's Bell to the left of Watkins. They give it to Bell along the right side, bouncing it out! Brendan Bell does it on defense. He does it on offense. And Villanova's up 2 scores here in the 4th.
And he runs over to the alumni in the end zone and hug everybody. Some of his former teammates are in there.
If you had 2 touchdowns for Brendan Bell today, you win bingo. And Villanova has a 37-28 lead.
And not only do you have to have 2, you got to have 1 on each side of the ball. Now a big extra point. Actually, the Wildcats up 9, trying to make it a 10-point lead. So already a 2-score game with 7:39 to go.
Extra point is on its way. No problem at all. And it is a 10-point advantage.
So the Wildcats did what they had to do with that short field, and that's get it in the end zone. And it's Brendan Bell after a really good run by Isaiah Ragland.
2nd team all-conference last season.
With plays like that, he might be first-team all-conference fullback. Who knows?
You talk with this Villanova program about the passion that Brendan Bell has for this Villanova team. He's been a great story since coming into this Villanova program from Basking Ridge, New Jersey.
Yeah. Started in the program as a walk-on, obviously earned himself a scholarship, and then earned himself all-conference honors.
And might have just gotten Villanova what they need.
Yeah, still plenty of time to go here. 7:39 to go. Delaware still with 3 timeouts, so this game is far from over.
But the Blue Hens now can ill afford to let more time slip away. A couple of critical fourth quarter turnovers.
Yeah, it does. You know, they're probably going to be all fourth down scenarios here on this drive, being down 2 scores.
And it starts with the field position. And Ethan Getman kicking back into the wind. Pick it down to about the 10-yard line or so. That's where Delaware will start to run it back. Out past the 25, out across the 30. Solid field position for Delaware.
Yeah, that's a really good job there. So they'll get decent field position. Really nice tackles. Julian Glantz, the backup linebacker, on the tackle. You see him there, number 18, getting down on special teams.
So where does Nick Minicucci and the rest of this Delaware offense go from here? Back-to-back series with a turnover.
Yeah, the last 3 plays have been turnovers. 2 of the last 3 have been turnovers, so they need to settle down here. You know, I mean, you might want to get yarns going again. You still have enough time here. 7:35 to go, and don't go away from your best player.
This Delaware team has shown that they can score awfully quickly. Those 2 touchdowns within a span of about 45 seconds or so to end the first half. Shovel pass to Yarns. That's a dangerous pass into a lot of traffic.
Yeah, but the only thing about it, if it does hit the ground, it is an incomplete pass. It's not a fumble, but you mentioned you have all those big offensive and defensive linemen. You contact that ball, bounces the wrong way, you could have another interception.
Instead, it's a gain of 3 or 4. Officially, they'll mark it a long 3 that is gained, so it'll be second down and a short 7 on Delaware's 35 as we tick down towards 7 minutes left to play. Full complement of timeouts for both teams. Minicucci nearly had trouble with the snap again. He's flushed out of the pocket. He gets it away.
That's a fumble. Get on the ball. Pick it up and run.
And then it's lost back out of bounds by Chuck Smith. Well, was Nick Minicucci's arm going forward? There's a Villanova player down 2. It's all going on with under 7 minutes to go.
The referee never blew that play dead.
Ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. Previous play is under further review.
So that is a fumble recovered by Villanova. We'll see if Minicucci's hand is going forward or not. But like I said, the play was never blown dead, which the officials are taught to do. Let the ball stay live, and let's see if the arm's going forward. I
think that's going to be an incomplete pass.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
But yeah, you said it. If Villanova, or rather if the officials blow the play dead, then nothing else can happen. So you said they're taught to let it play out, almost like an offside shout in soccer. You let the play go.
He did possess the ball, and then it ended up out of bounds. So Smith did have it.
Yeah. So
that's Shane Hartzell who's down. More importantly,
that would be a big loss.
He's been so good for Villanova all year long. But let's see. This is a huge replay, obviously.
Leading tackler for Villanova and 4th in the conference. Yeah. So as you said, Chuck Smith did possess it before losing it back out of bounds. So if it is a fumble, it's going to be Villanova's ball. But for my money, Minicucci's arm is going forward there.
All right, if it is going forward, is that intentional grounding? He just threw the ball right into the ground.
Would believe so, because he would have been out of the tackle box, but wouldn't have gotten to the line of scrimmage.
And that is loss of down, which is the most important part. It's a spot foul and loss of down.
That might be what the officials are having to discuss as well. There's a lot of moving pieces.
Look at. Yeah. So we started with, is the arm going forward? Did Smith possess the ball before he lost it out of bounds? And is there an eligible receiver in the vicinity? And here comes the official.
After review, the quarterback's hand was going forward. It's an incomplete pass. It's 3rd down.
So no grounding. So it's just 3rd down.
See if we can get one more look at it to see whether or not.
And can they call grounding? Because he might have tried to get the ball out there, but his arm is getting hit by the defender. So he can't make
a point.
Very much can't make a good pass here. So it's 3rd and a bunch, and
it's Hartzell's right knee he was grabbing too.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Turner Inge will take his spot in the lineup.
So 3rd down and 7.
Is it 4 down territory here with 6:53 to go? I don't think so yet. Not with 3 timeouts.
Maybe if you get down to 4th and 1 or 2. But if it's 4th and 7, unlikely with your full complement. Minakuchi has all the time in the world to throw. He's picking out Lutz down the sideline, incomplete.
Yeah, he ran out of room. He was out of bounds. So let's see here. Ryan Carty has yet to decide what he wants to do here on 4th and 7.
Newton Essiem was there to make sure Lutz couldn't get anything.
Here comes the punt team.
That's excellent coverage.
Yeah, and that ball just sailed on him and got out of bounds. So no way Lutz would have been able to get a foot in. Now, if I'm Tanner Maddox here, just be smart here. If you can't get to it,
get away from it.
Yeah.
And heads up play by the Villanova coach on that far side too to separate Essiem from Lutz. Those two had some words.
Yeah, you don't need a post.
Maddox
now it's hold on to the football.
Punt.
2 hands around the football. Good job by Tanner Maddox.
Got what he could get and got down.
Got you an 8 or 9 yard run and secured the football.
Go out past the 25 in Villanova now. They'll have the chance to leak some more time off of the clock.
And this is where you talk about what you work on all offseason in the weight room, in the film study. It's, guys, we got to go grind 3 or 4 first downs. We got to run, 4 or 5 minutes off this clock and go try to win this Battle of the Blue for the last time.
Delaware has all 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute timeout.
And now you got to secure the football. What's done Delaware in this second half? The 2 turnovers. So if you're Villanova, 2 arms around that football.
Only 1 turnover today for Villanova. That was the Watkins interception towards the tail end of the first half. On the ground, Ragland down and around the 30. Gain of 3 or so, maybe 4.
Yeah, I think they're going to give him 4. So 2nd down and 6. And there's a timeout on the, it could be an injury. Yeah, one of the Delaware Blue Hens is down. Can't make out the number just yet. Is that 90? 98. Nick Carica, the defensive lineman. So that stops the clock. But now the play clock's at 40. So the Wildcats smartly should use 38, 39 seconds of the play clock here.
Time very much on the side of the host Villanova Wildcats. So we're making a look at 4. We're looking to make it 4 in a row over Delaware.
In a 2-score lead here, you want to use the whole clock.
Well, it's just been a tremendous day of football. We only had 1 more of these we knew on the books, so these 2 teams make it count.
The clock starts on the referee's whistle, but Villanova didn't really need to come out this quick. Still 34 on the play clock.
That's Abbott back out there.
Yeah, it's good to see. But I don't like Villanova being over the ball here. Still 27 seconds on the play clock.
And Avid is going to get taken down for maybe only 2.
Yeah, you got to be a little smarter there with your clock management.
Wildcats left maybe 20, 25 seconds on the table.
You'd love to think you would have this thing under 5 minutes if you did the right thing. That might be it for Avid now. He's down again.
Not a good sign at all, especially if Villanova were to win this.
Please reset the game clock to 5:55, please.
Into the FCS playoffs.
Thank you.
And he's got a cramp. It looks like they're stretching out the leg.
Well, if it is just a cramp, then hopefully Abbott would be fine.
Yeah, get him hydrated, get some fluids in him. He's a big bruiser. You'd like to have him in these kind of situations.
There's 2 elements to Villanova when you look at the postseason. 1, just whether or not their name will be in the bracket, and 2, whether or not their first game will be here.
Yeah, with a win today, you would think they would be in that seeded in there between 9 and 16, which would host a home game Saturday after Thanksgiving. See, I want Villanova to stay there until they start to play. Now it's down to 25 because of the offensive injury. So the Wildcats did not do a good job there on 2nd down with clock management. Now it's a huge 3rd down here.
And if you're Delaware, if you get a stop here on 3rd down, do you take your first of the 3 timeouts? This is where you really make your money as a head coach.
And you can afford to use 1 because you're going to have the 2-minute timeout in your 2 if you're able to punch 1 in, and then. But huge first down here because this is 2 minutes worth of time if you want to run 3 plays. Or force Delaware to use their timeouts.
Ryan Carty, a Delaware alum, he played in this game. He knows what this game means. He won a 2003 national championship with this Delaware team.
I think you're going to see an RPO here with Ragland and Watkins. And look at the Delaware. They got basically 11 guys in the box, daring Villanova to throw the football.
Will Watkins.
Oh, they get him to jump.
Oh, did that.
That should be. Is that going to be a first down? Yes, it is. It's 3rd and 4.
That was Jason Scott, I think. Was he incited by
Yes, it's going to be offsides Delaware. So good job by Connor Watkins.
Offside. Defense, number 52. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
They got Brogna. Scott might have flinched as well.
And it's a good job by Watkins. And the worst thing, right over the ball, and 17 jumped as well.
Yeah, that's Scott.
Yep. You hate to see it when it's your nose tackle or your guy right over the center. He's looking right at the football. And the clock runs now. The same scenario here. Good. Now Wildcats did a much better job here. Play clock at 13.
And they won't be in any sort of hurry. Critical penalty.
First down's key here. If you can get 4 or 5, it really sets you up.
7th penalty of the day against Delaware, and that one might have been the costliest. Staying on his feet for a little extra was Ragland.
That's a really good 4-yard run. You don't say that often in football, but that looked like he was going to be bottled up behind the line of scrimmage. And he's able to pick up 4 to make it 2nd down and 6. And Delaware's going to take their first timeout.
Ryan Carty recognizing he can ill afford to let this clock bleed down to around 3 minutes or so.
Second charge timeout.
Now the scenario here, though, is let's say you run the ball here and pick up 3 or 4, use your second timeout, and then if Villanova converts, you're down to 1 timeout.
Delaware.
So you almost have to get a stop
the game
here.
Clock to 5:10.
5:10, so 6 seconds.
5
they're going to
minutes,
put back
10
on.
seconds.
Yeah, well, Ryan Carty was racing down the sideline to get the timeout in.
So you really, if you're Delaware, you almost have to get a stop here on this set of downs. On this 2nd and 6, you need to get 2 more downs and get off the field.
What has regardless been a great send-off year for Delaware in their final year in the CAA. 9 wins in consecutive seasons for the first time in 2 decades. Their only loss to the conference champion Richmond Spiders.
But the bugaboo has been Villanova in the last, 16 games? The Wildcats have won 14 of them.
Including 3 in a row. Means that so many of these Blue Hens have never beaten Villanova.
Bell back in the game. Now he's at H-back there as a 2nd tight end.
Again, the call to Ragland. Again, Ragland's got a seam. He's lunging towards the first down marker. He's a yard short.
So it's going to be 3rd and a yard. Ryan Carter does not take a timeout. Yes, he does. So here's a huge play here. 3rd and 1. And I've talked about this with Coach. I want to go under center here. And, you want to hand it off, fine, but let's get under center.
Second charge timeout.
You could argue you have 2 downs to make a yard if you want to go for it on 4.
5:04.
But to hand the ball back 5 yards in the backfield, allow them to penetrate.
Thank you.
Added 7 seconds back on.
And there you see Coach Ferrani going out on the field. He's talking to his offensive line. He coached the offensive line here for close to 30 years. And he's telling his guys, I need a yard. I need 1 yard. I need you to move your guy back 1 yard. And let's go pick up a yard and really put this game in peril for Delaware.
Sean Devine, the offensive line coach now for Villanova. For all the skill position players we talked about in the open, knew this game would be won or lost in the trenches in these kind of short situations. Ragland's jogging back out there again.
Yeah, Watkins, the quarterback, goes over 200 pounds. Is he somebody you trust with the football here at 225 on 3rd and 1?
Cats are out of the shotgun.
Yeah, it looks like it's Bell and Ragland on each side of him. They need to get the ball past the 47.
Huge play here at the 5-minute mark. It's Watkins who's going to take it himself, and he's got a first down.
He's out to the 48, so a huge play, but I thought they'd keep it with the senior quarterback, the 6th-year guy. He's going to give you the first down. He's got to give the ball to the official here. Wildcats are celebrating like this game's over. It's not over yet. There's still 4:45 to play.
But that now really puts Villanova in a good spot.
That's a huge jump. Aiden Howard was out there. Abina Wobodo was out there. They went with 5 defensive players. Jason Hall as well. So, now it's like, let's go. Now it's time for 1 more first down, right? You did what you had to do there. Delaware still has the 1 timeout and the 2-minute warning.
Again, Ragland, it's been all number 20, the redshirt freshman from Alexandria, Virginia.
And that'll be the last timeout for Delaware. Ryan Carty takes it with 4:14 to go.
Ragland's averaged a little over 4 yards per carry, but it's been almost about 4 yards every carry. Can't think it too often. He's been bottled up for only 1 or 2. He's turned 1 or 2 into 4 or 5 a lot.
So now if you want to run the ball, you could run basically 80 seconds off the clock. So that would take it down to, under 3 minutes to go.
They have about 2:34 is where
in a 2-score game, and then if you can, execute a punt, you're going to have to go, 80 yards with, about 2.5 minutes, 2:20 to go, and then they'll need to execute an onside kick.
Delaware has not had an onside kick all year long. They've not attempted one. haven't had to all that much.
Yeah, if you're the Wildcats, what you want to do is not give them the ball back and just keep grinding away here. You know, you need 5 yards here. You know, go get another 5 yards.
10 rushes for Ragland for 44 yards. They have been hard fought.
Yeah, he's certainly hard-earned ones. Bell in the backfield with him.
Right back to the well for Ragland. Nothing that time.
Yeah, give him nothing. You're right. So that brings up 3rd down, but the clock will continue to run here.
You wouldn't dare if you're Villanova, would you?
I would. Not with a 2-score game. I'm going to run the ball and use all 40 seconds. In a 1-score game, I might, but not in a 2-score game. But how about just execute a good run play here and pick up a 1st down?
Delaware cannot stop the clock anymore. They'll have the clock stop once at the 2-minute timeout, and that is all. Well, Isaiah Ragland have one more opportunity to put it away. Needing 5. Watkins going to take it himself. He will run for a 1st down. Connor Watkins calling his own number.
And the 6th-year quarterback with an emphatic 1st down signal. What a huge run by the quarterback, Watkins. You know how much this game means to him. It could be his last appearance at Villanova Stadium, depending on how the bracket falls on tomorrow. Could hold on to the football. Huge 1st down run.
And the clock keeps on moving down to 3 minutes left to play.
Still no need to be in any hurry. Now it's all about ball security here. Earlier in the year against Towson, they had a fumble by Isaiah Ragland early in the season. I think he's hopefully learned his lesson from that. Now you're going to just put great ball security on it here and let this clock run down.
They've already wound 4 minutes off of the clock. A 1st down will now win it.
And they should be able to get it all the way down to the 2-minute timeout here. Yes, they will. There's a 3-second difference. So the Wildcats do not need to snap the football here until the 2-minute timeout. And you see Connor Watkins and his staff walking over to the sideline.
Villanova will just let the seconds tick all the way down until 2 minutes. And a 1st down would win the Battle of the Blue for Villanova.
Now, Ben, so I know you went to the University of Maryland, so you're probably not a math scholar, but let's do some math here. Let's figure this one out here. So with 2 minutes to go, they can run at least 80 seconds and then the 2 plays. So this is a game that should be over. They're going to be down to under a minute or so to go.
That is the 2-minute timeout.
Throwing in one more shot at the University of Maryland before we hit a media timeout. That is just final thoughts from Steve Pannone on the last couple of
I'll apologize
minutes
off
of the year.
Air, okay?
No, you won't. We head to the final break of regulation. 38-28 Villanova trying to figure things out to get across the finish line. I went to Maryland. I know that Villanova's up by 10 on the Villanova Sports Network.
In moments of vulnerability, it's only human to seek warmth and expertise. Mainline Health is the place where both your health and humanity matter, where ultrasounds come with understanding, where tests are met with tenderness, where EKGs are as important as empathy, the place where you will never be your only advocate, the place for a lifetime of care delivered neighbor to neighbor. Mainline Health, where human care has a home.
Home is for making dreams come true, for making memories that will last, for forging lifelong friendships, for watching your loved ones grow. The time is now to find the freedom that comes with pre-qualifying for a new home, or refinance in minutes and unlock the freedom to do the exciting things you've always wanted to do. Whichever path you choose, you can achieve your goals and celebrate the freedom of home ownership with Freedom Mortgage. Start making your dreams a reality at freedommortgage.com/dreams.
2 minutes on the scoreboard here at Villanova Stadium. Villanova up by 10 against Delaware in the 58th all-time meeting between these two great rivals. And the final one on the books for quite some time can be won by one more Villanova 1st down. 2nd and 9 on Delaware's 36, and the Blue Hens cannot stop the clock. Villanova on their own sideline, trying to get the home crowd engaged.
Yeah, now the second effort's not as important as securing the football here.
2 fourth-quarter turnovers.
Wildcats going with that jumbo lineup again. Hall and Bell. There goes Bell. He kind of goes out to the flat.
Both of those turnovers for Delaware in the 4th quarter.
Stay in bounds is the most important thing. Go down. That's a good job by Isaiah Ragland. Uses a little bit of clock, but stays in bounds.
Both of those Delaware turnovers turned into points.
So the
10
Wildcats
points.
can run this down to about 1:10 before they have to snap it.
That's been the difference. The interception that turned into the field goal. And then the fumble that turned into the touchdown. And Villanova turns a 28-28 game into a 38-28 contest. Wildcats have scored all 10 points that have been registered here in the fourth quarter.
So now you want to, if you can run a play that takes 4 or 5 seconds, that'll take it down to under 30 seconds left in the game. Wildcats can take the delay of game and punt it away.
Down and distance, as you said, not as important as staying in bounds, letting the clock run and holding on to that football. Ragland gets the call once more, bouncing it out to the outside. He's dragged to the ground with 2 hands on the football. And the clock will wind down to 23 seconds left.
So now you just take the delay of game. You use all 40 seconds. And then you might even pooch punt this with Connor Watkins, something Villanova likes to do. So they can't get their punt defense out there to maybe set up a block.
Mark Ferrante standing right next to the official. He might take a timeout.
Yeah, he could take a timeout with 1.
Blue Hens fans starting to file out along the far side. Villanova's fans are going to stick around for a while and enjoy this one.
The thing I like about the pooch punt is that it'll roll down there. They don't have anyone back there. It'll take up a few more seconds.
Please reset the game clock to 24 seconds. This is the second charge timeout for Villanova. 24, please.
Sean Devine
Thank
out
you.
there talking with his offensive line. Chris Bowden as well, the offensive coordinator. I think you're going to see the pooch punt here. And like I said, normally because they're going to be in their offensive formation, they don't put anyone back there. So if you can get a decent roll, you might be able to buy yourself a couple of seconds. But you got to go down and cover the punt as well.
Villanova 2 or 3 plays of solid execution away. And for Delaware, to get the ball back, you probably have, 17, 18 seconds left.
That's about what you have, and you need 2 scores. And if you execute the punt, you're going to have to go 75, 80 yards.
You might think about, you can get a big play, then you get a big play that gets out of bounds.
Yeah.
Maybe kicking a field goal, onside kick, and then a heave.
Yeah, that's about all you have time for. And you have to have that big play would have to be out of bounds.
So Watkins will at least line up with a receiver out to the right.
Yeah, I'm just.
We expect.
No, he's going to throw it.
He's going to wind some more seconds. He's just going to launch the ball downfield, and that will take up 6 seconds.
Yeah, I think I would have pooch punted. I think it would have took a little more time off the clock.
So now Delaware takes over on their own 42.
Either
Please
scenario
reset
should.
the game clock to 19 seconds. 19.
So now if you're Delaware, you got to heave one to the
Thank
end
you.
zone. Is your chance. And if you're Villanova, you tackle the guy. You just don't let the time go off the clock. But you just don't let him catch it.
Arm strength of Nick Minicucci going to be tested here, or you try to get it down to around the 30 out of bounds, kick that field goal.
Yeah, Villanova needs to tackle them in bounds is the key. So anything over the middle, you let them have. The clock will stop to move the chains for a second, but.
Nick Minicucci, what can he do here? 19 seconds on his own 42. Will launch it over the middle. It's incomplete.
Good coverage by Bell. He dropped deep enough in. They were looking to hit the tight end over the middle. That was Furia. Good job by Bell to drop in there where he needed to be. That play only took 4 seconds.
Boria had the first catch of the ball game. Over 3 hours of real time ago and 66 points ago. There's been a high scoring affair between these two really, really good ball clubs. Minicucci has to hurry, stepping up in the pocket, throwing it out to the left. He's got Silver, who stays in bounds, and he gets tackled.
Yeah,
6 seconds left.
He got past the marker, but it's going to start right up as soon as they move the chains.
Silver had a chance to get out of bounds. He couldn't do it. Delaware will be able to clock the ball quickly. 7 seconds left on the timer. They do restart the clock, and it is spiked with 4 seconds left.
So this is more than likely your last play of the ball game here.
Please reset the game clock to 4 seconds. 4 seconds.
That is right. The clock continued to run, but 4 is the right number.
Villanova fans unhappy, but that's the right decision.
Yeah, with 2 scores down, I don't think there's a play you can get all the way to the end zone in 3 seconds and then try an onside kick, recover that with no time going off the clock. So Villanova's going to win this football game.
One more play for Villanova against their old rivals. It's been 129 years in the making, and the final scheduled game of this great epic is going to go Villanova's way.
They still haven't recovered it. Now it's down. And the Wildcats win it 38-28. Look at him come off that sideline.
This blue-hued epic goes to Villanova one more time.
So the Battle of Blue Trophy stays in Villanova, Pennsylvania, where it's made a permanent home. I think that's 14 out of the last 16 times.
4 times in a row, Villanova on the final day of the regular season has beaten their local CAA rival, and they send Delaware off to Conference USA with a 9-2 overall record. What a year it has been for Villanova, as they will hoist the Battle of the Blue Trophy one more time. We'll step aside when we come back. A lot to talk about as we put a bow on this game and on this 2024 regular season. Villanova wins it 38-28.
In moments of vulnerability, it's only human to seek warmth and expertise. Mainline Health is the place where both your health and humanity matter, where ultrasounds come with understanding, where tests are met with tenderness, where EKGs are as important as empathy, the place where you will never be your only advocate, the place for a lifetime of care delivered neighbor to neighbor. Mainline Health, where human care has a home.
Home is for making dreams come true, for making memories that will last, for forging lifelong friendships, for watching your loved ones grow. The time is now to find the freedom that comes with pre-qualifying for a new home, or refinance in minutes and unlock the freedom to do the exciting things you've always wanted to do. Whichever path you choose, you can achieve your goals and celebrate the freedom of home ownership with Freedom Mortgage. Start making your dreams a reality at freedommortgage.com/dreams.
38-28, Villanova wins the Battle of the Blue here in 2024. 10 points in the fourth quarter, all off of turnovers, give Villanova the win in what was just a great ball game here at Villanova Stadium. He's Steve Pannone. I'm Ben Curtis, back up here in the booth. 28-28 going to the fourth quarter, and a couple of late takeaways for the Cats.
Yeah, and it really was the defense that set the tone, and then the offense able to finish the game off with a great drive, put it in the end zone for Brendan Bell. Just a resilience group. This team was up 21-0, and then it's tied at halftime. A lot of ways you can go after that, and a great job by Villanova to bounce back and say, you know what, it's our turn. We're not giving this trophy up on our home field, and they find a way to pull out a great 38-28 win and send themselves off to the playoffs.
The Battle of the Blue Trophy contested between Villanova and Delaware has had some truly phenomenal ball games, and this one you would put up with some of the very best, and the fact that it is the context of everything around with it.
And there's Coach Ferrani holding it up high, and that's the last time this trophy will be played for, certainly for a long, long time, and the Wildcats will keep it right where it belongs, right here in Villanova, Pennsylvania.
The context of knowing it was going to be the last one for a while just made this game elevated an extra dimension. And this Battle of the Blue Trophy going to stay with the Villanova Wildcats.
And he gives it to Brendan Bell. No one more deserving to hold that trophy than him. 2 touchdowns today, a pick 6, and then a huge run late in the fourth quarter to get the Wildcats a 10-point lead.
The former walk-on has been tremendous in his time with this Villanova program. A huge career-capping day for Brendan Bell on both sides of the ball as the Battle of the Blue Trophy awarded back to Villanova at the center of the field. That late push that was all capped off by Brendan Bell with that late fourth quarter touchdown to make it a 2-score ball game, and that's where it ended.
It's just an outstanding performance. We talked about it earlier. You know, you get out to that big lead, and Delaware fights their way all the way back, and you go into halftime, and you're like, are we down 14 points? No, we're tied. And then you say, hey, you know what? We got Mark Ferrani said it at halftime to test. You got a 30-minute game. The Wildcats went out and won that 30 minutes by 10 points to keep the Battle of the Blue Trophy right here in Villanova.
And the Wildcats will go over and celebrate what will be a big-time victory. You got to look at some of the numbers. On the ground, Villanova really ended strong, largely thanks to what was a great late drive to seep more and more time off the clock. They burned 6 minutes and 37 seconds on the ground at the end.
And I really thought Connor Watkins had a great game. He had the one errant throw right before the half that he probably wants back. But other than that, his decision-making with the football today was outstanding. And you saw how important it was to him in those 2 late runs where he picked up first downs. The emotion in him and the excitement in him, he knows that's the last time he's ever going to play Delaware, and he went 4-0 against him.
We'll go downstairs. Mark Ferrante, the winning head coach, standing by with our own Tessa Peloso.
Coach, at the half, Delaware goes into half with all the momentum. It's tied. You tell me you guys got to just clean things up. You come out, and what were the conversations like in that, halftime that changed the momentum?
Hey, they tied it back up, so it's 0-0. So instead of a 60-minute game, it turned into a 30-minute game. 0-0 coming out of half, and thankfully we started the second half the way we started the game. We got up on top, and then we were able to hold them off at the end with a few turnovers. So that was huge. Defense came up big, obviously. Offense came up big. Connor ran his butt off and got some first downs that we needed, and we were able to secure the win. So that was awesome.
I have to talk about Brendan Bell. Played both sides of the ball today, the pick 6, ran one in for a touchdown. I said Travis Hunter has nothing on you. Could you just talk about his performance today?
Yeah, Bell's a heck of an athlete. I've said it before. He's a guy that some of the scouts are taking a peek at, and what I've told them, he's probably pound for pound the best athlete we have on our team. He's just good at everything. He'll be in a foul shooting contest, he'll be in cornhole, and obviously he plays pretty good football too. So he's just a really good athlete and a really, really good football player.
And the trophy stays here at Villanova, the final battle of the blue. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot.
Congratulations, Coach. Thank you.
The emotion really apparent for Mark Ferrante, recognizing what this one meant. And speaking of Brendan Bell, he's back downstairs with Tessa.
Both sides of the ball, to say the least. The pick 6, you ran one in for a touchdown. Have you processed this at all?
Not really. As a 5th year, this is my last year, so I've always been bugging Bowden to put me on offense. Kind of as a joke that we needed a little heavy personnel, and my name came up and he gave me a play, and the rest is history.
And when you ran that one in for a touchdown, you ran right over to those guys in the end zone, your former teammates. What did that mean to you?
Everything. My older brother went here. I have 108 brothers that went here, so I knew where they were standing at, and I wanted to go give them a hug,
And coming into this game, you knew Delaware was going to try to disrupt your whole game plan, right? Knowing that they had nothing to lose. What does this say about the toughness your group showed today?
Just means we're resilient. I've said it from the start, from week 1 to now. We're a resilient group. Our backs were up against the wall. We had to win to kind of get into the playoffs, and we were talking about it all week. We got to be great. Pressure makes diamonds, doesn't burst pipes.
The Battle of the Blue Trophy stays here. What does that mean to you?
That means everything. The last one we needed to win, and we pulled it through.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Awesome stuff by Tessa Peloso downstairs. As we get a look at some of the biggest plays for Brendan Bell, that pick 6 made it 14-0 after the extra point and really set the tone for Villanova early on.
An easy selection for our crew for play of the game. You see 1 touchdown on defense, and there he looks like he's been running the ball his whole career and 1 on offense. And I thought this was special. He goes and finds his old teammates. He sees them there, and Tessa brought this up to him. He said, I got 108 brothers back there, guys I played with for years. And look how excited the alumni are. It's a special day here at Villanova Stadium. And then I just want to mention Coach Frye. You saw the emotion. He spent 38 years of his life on this campus, and you just know how important it is to him, and he knows what this Delaware-Villanova game has meant for so many years, and he didn't want the last one not to go his way, and he's so proud of his group and so proud of everyone involved in this Villanova program to have it end the right way.
The highest scoring battle of the blue in 5 years is get a look at the top Wildcats of the contest. Shane Hartzell was really solid defensively. Connor Watkins did everything he needed to.
Yeah, I was really impressed by Connor Watkins. We talked about the one throw, and you're playing quarterback, you have the ball in your hand a lot. One bad decision doesn't break you. 203 yards, but the running was huge. Bell, we've talked about a ton, and it's always Hartzell. The tackle, the QB hits, the forced fumble, the 2 TDs for Bell. What a special way to end your career at home, and hopefully you get another shot next week, maybe at home.
That will be up to the selection committee tomorrow, but Villanova certainly making a really good case as we look all the way back at how this one went right from the very beginning. It was an early and quick start for Villanova. They went up 21-0 after about 20 minutes of play. David Avid got the party started. About 5 minutes left to go in the opening quarter, and Villanova danced out to a 7-0 lead. And then Bell's first big play of the day, a 38-yard pick six to run it all the way back and make it 14-0.
We think a defensive lineman got a hand on that. I'm sure they'll see that in the tape. We unfortunately weren't able to credit somebody up front who might have got a piece of that really helped that ball overshoot the receiver.
And then Connor Watkins to Kenyon Miles on what was the largest passing play of the day.
Miles' first career touchdown. He couldn't pick a bigger spot to get it.
And so that made it 21-0, and then after a squib kick went all wrong for Villanova, a short field for Delaware set things up, and Jojo Bermudez got Delaware back on the board. And then a Marcus Yarns 1-yard rush made it 21-14.
Yeah, a minute to go here, a minute to go in the half here, and this is when Watkins, there's one bad errant throw to kind of into double coverage. That one gets picked. It's over the head of Sanchez, and then Yarns with the huge play. I think that's probably what we'll see next. There's a broken coverage between Waxter and Bell.
It was a 65-yard wheel route run by Marcus Yarns after the turnover, and Tyron Herring's interception makes it 21-21 after Yarns scampers all the way down the right sideline. So at halftime, as Tessa said, it's a 30-minute game, and Connor Watkins goes all the way 38 yards for the score to get the Villanova lead right back.
Yeah, I really thought whoever scored first in the second half was going to have an advantage, and Villanova was able to get that one. That made a big difference to make it 28-21. And I thought the Villanova defense, after the turnovers as well, but did a good job on Yarns in the second half.
But Joe Nathan Silver was the other running back option. He got a 6-yard touchdown catch, and it was tied once again 28 apiece. Then on the trick play, an opportunity from Jake Thaw to throw the ball, intercepted by Ty Trin.
Yeah, just a bad read. Didn't see Trin, the safety, in there, and then Bell's going to run it in. And this gave the Wildcats a 10-point lead after Getman had kicked a into-the-wind field goal. That was impressive to make it a 3-point game, and that made it 10.
And the celebration was on for Villanova as they take the Battle of the Blue 38-28. So that puts Villanova at 9-3 on the season and 6-2 in what was a really great CAA play. Not the only game going around the conference. What on earth is going on Long Island?
But look at Monmouth. Villanova's defense didn't play as bad as we thought. They got 55 today. They only got 40 last week. Them and Stony Brook just a shootout at OK Corral, 55-47. Richmond goes undefeated in the CAA. Credit to them. They shut out William and Mary today. And Albany up on Hampton. And UNH goes on the road and beats Maine.
That's a really good Stony Brook team, too, that was thinking about the playoff earlier on this year. What a ball game that is. But what a ball game this one was as well, as we close out the final game of the season. Huge thanks to our entire Villanova Sports Network crew. Josh Iago, Gabe Steiner, our producer, doing a great job all season long. Tessa Peloso down on the field. Steve Yu as well. Nick Mantegna and Sam Cooperman, who have also called games along with me. Dean Kefnick and Danielle Whaley on the media relations side of things. It takes a village.
Don't forget David Berman. He's been great to us all year, too, working in media relations.
Absolutely. It really does take a village. There's so many moving parts. And it's kind of oxymoronic because the better the moving parts are, the fewer you notice if you're a viewer. But working with this Villanova team all year long, getting to tell their story, there have been so many people contributing long hours, staying earlier than we have, leaving later than we do to make sure we can tell the story of this 2024 Villanova football season. And that will do it for all of us at the Villanova Sports Network. My partners Tessa Peloso and Steve Pannone. My name's Ben Curtis, saying so long and see you real soon from one last Battle of the Blue. Your final score from Villanova Stadium. The Wildcats win it 38-28.